Welcome back, everyone. I'm John McDonald, aka Panabon, aka, in this case, Zordon. You are listening to Grim Alternus's podcast, Becoming Mighty and Morphin, a Power Rangers tabletop game experience. You are listening through the Alternia archives, and the Alternia archives are part of the Rem Alternus family network of gaming. And we're going to have a good time tonight. I'm very excited. This is session 2, episode 3. Welcome. Thank you for listening in. Before I introduce the Rangers, I am John McDonald. Like I said, I am a queer playwright in real life in the Rem Alternus Network. If you listen to podcasting here before, you've heard my voice as Flint the Marine in Saints and Sinners, and then you heard me as Monarch, and then I judge in Brutal Whistling, BC Dub for Life. And you're listening to this right now. If you like me, you've probably also seen me in the Patreon doing stuff. I did stuff with Misspent Youth. And I also on Sunday nights play Panabon, the genderqueer, jewel-eyebrowed gnome who is a fan of talking, which helps as a GM. And that's enough about me, though. I am Zordon. I am the game master, and I'm going to get out of the way so the players can introduce themselves. Roadkill, hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. Would you like to introduce yourself for all of those listening to the podcast?
Yeah, of course. I am known as Roadkill in a lot of different gaming circles, but my name is Andrew, and I am playing the Yellow Ranger, who was once just a teenager with attitude named Quentin Turner, I guess, is a good way to put it. Still is, but now he's also the Yellow Ranger, yeah.
You can still have an attitude. Does Quentin tend to sleep in, or do they tend to wake up early during summer vacation? Welcome, Isabeth.
Hello, I am Isabeth on the internet, and Elizabeth in real life. I help out doing editing for Rem Alternus, and I'm also part of the Light Work cast on Sunday nights at the Master Brand Twitch.
So for a question for you, Isabeth, for Jane. Does Jane like to sleep in when they get the opportunity, or do they like to wake up bright and early? Don't answer that yet. But think about this. Do they want to sleep in, or do they like to wake up bright and early? That's a question for everyone. Let's head down to Cecily Adwell. Cecily.
Hello. It's Lottie all the West. That's what I go by on the internet, as they say, or Chaotic High Femme. Sometimes, if you're looking for me on TikTok. What I'm working on right now is producing my first performance art showcase for my 30th birthday, called 30, Flirty, and Thriving. Going to be here in Chicago at the Newport Theater on July 22nd, with proceeds going towards the Ronald McDonald House charities.
Also, think about whether Cecily likes to. I think I know the answer. But whether Cecily likes to sleep in or wake up early. And while you think about that, let's move down to our favorite Pink Ranger, Brick Kerrigan. Hi, Brick. How you doing? Falcon, Lord of the Sky.
Winged Lord of the Skies. Hi, my name is John Blair. I go by Chunky Love on the internet. You can find me doing all sorts of nothing. Yeah, I'm just here to have fun.
I love that. And be thinking, I think I know the answer for Brick as an athlete as to whether they like to sleep in or wake up bright and early. So think about that. And of course, then last but not least, Eddy Thatch. Dear Eddy Thatch, our favorite Black Ranger, how goeth everything in your world? Eddy Thatch.
My name is Patrick Bryant. I go by Jester on the Discord, as well as in the general social spaces. I'm on Twitter at WatchJester. Not really doing any terribly active projects at the moment for my own sake. I am doing some work for Fragging Different Games, specifically for their Games of the Undercity product, in preparation for upcoming conventions such as Gen Con. A little bit less for Origins. I also am very, very slowly developing my own creative projects. And at Gen Con, excitingly enough, a Shadowrun missions module that I co-wrote will be debuting. So I'm very excited for that.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. So we're going to kick things off I promise today is not a Groundhog's Day, as we've done. I promise that was only happening the one time. So it is now officially summer vacation. You actually made it out of a Groundhog's Day. It is now officially summer break, which is every teenager's favorite time of the year. Woohoo! It is actually finally here. Now, who decided to sleep in? Who is a sleep in character?
He doesn't really sleep that well, so he might not necessarily have a set sleep schedule. He might have some days where he goes out later than most, other mornings where he's up earlier. It's kind of a toss-up. He normally just doesn't get a lot of sleep.
All right, for Jane and Eddy, and then Cecily and Brick, you're waking up bright and early, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, living it and loving it. So
I don't know about loving it.
Don't know if you're loving it, but you're living it, whether you love it or not.
I got stuff to do.
I could sleep coming, bud.
So Jane and Eddy, I need you to roll me whatever your highest smart is. Whatever your highest smart skill.
I'm gonna roll an alertness.
All right.
So for smarts, I would be
For
I got a
this,
4.
you got a 4 in your alertness.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out for you.
Oh dear.
Okay. Eddy got a 14.
I got lucky.
That D2 really helped. You had a success there. All right. So, Eddy, you are sleeping peacefully or fitfully, however you sleep, but your dream starts to kind of transition. And no matter where you were, there's kind of a shadow that comes over your dream. And it's a shadow that creates like this room for you. And this is a room that just seems to go on forever. You cannot see an end to this room in any way, shape, or form. I want you to give me an alertness. You got a 22. Okay, so when I say that this room goes on forever, it looks like it's supposed to go on forever, but you realize at a certain point that it's actually a trick. It's an optical illusion because the edge of this room is just mirrors. And these aren't like the funhouse mirrors that you had in your dreams previously. These are just like mirrors on the edge. But it's just one of those things where it's supposed to look like it goes on forever, but it doesn't. It is a trick. And for whatever reason, you're just very aware it's a trick. And that just means something to you. And then, just from the horizon, you see someone walking toward you. And then someone's walking toward you. There is a putty who is at the heel of a woman dressed in clothing that was probably white at some point, but is now this dingy gray. And there's like a lot of different pieces of clothing. There's like a dress going on, but then there's like an overcoat, and then there's like a scarf, and then there's like a coat on top of the coat in strips. And it's all dingy and gray. As she gets closer, you start to think of like a snake, if a snake were wearing a people face. And she stops about 30 feet from you and seems to appraise you. Is there anything you'd like to do before she talks to you?
Nothing comes to mind, given the situation. I don't think Eddy would do much else other than kind of wait for her to break the silence or kind of just study what she's doing.
Okay. Well, she's not sending the putty your direction. She actually starts to giggle a little bit, and she says, "Aha! Hello! You're one of the Rangers to be. Oh, Zordon, he's always so predictable. I think it's a fetish of some kind, really, pulling others into his battles. You know, you don't really have to be a Ranger, especially here. This is my realm, and I have an infinite supply of putties in order to get my way. You could just lay down your arms and we can just both go about our days." And in this dream, you have your dino buckler, you have your wrist communicator, and she's pointedly looking towards both of those items.
Is that like a serious proposal? I mean, do you have any idea exactly the kind of people that Zordon goes for? At least perhaps in my case.
Well, it's a serious proposal. Do you know what kind of people Zordon feeds into the meat grinder?
Oh, it's a meat grinder or not. The other individuals that I've met through this process have been really stellar people. Rather, actually, kind of glad to make their acquaintance. But
It's very cute. Do you
I
think you're the
sincerely
first?
do not understand exactly what you plan to accomplish by trying to instill some sort of fear in the general process of being in a position that I don't understand.
It's not fear. I'm just trying to help you. Consider this
Help me
a
in what
friendly
regard?
warning to be on your guard.
Friendly
Zordon,
warning to be in my regard, and that's helping me?
it could help you.
No, you're just trying to basically overlay the situation with absolute bullshit regarding some sort of false behavior towards some friendship or other kind of niceties in the conversation.
Is it false behavior if you don't know who Zordon really is? How much do you know about Zordon?
It's some dude in a fish tank, and when it really comes down to it, that's all I really need to know.
Fish tank! Oh, I love that! And she cackles a high, hard laugh. And at that second, the putty comes loping after you. And I want you to roll initiative to see if the putty is going to go first or you're going to go. Oh, yeah. The putty got a 19. So I hope you're... Because I just rolled
I got
you
an
got
18.
an 18. You got an 18. Seems so close.
Is there nothing that can be done to just... It's either like a reroll or there's no just like +1 or anything to something, is there?
You have a story point. Okay, so this putty is going to come charging at you. This putty's going to come charging at you with deception, and they've turned their arms into these kind of ferocious clay-looking drill things. So it's a 6. These really big arms, they're really wide, and your willpower, no matter how low or high your willpower is, would tell you this is more about a scare tactic than actually doing any damage.
Okay. So now it's essentially my turn to react.
It is your turn.
Just a scare tactic. So in that case, I'm not going to return any kind of malice or aggression. I'll just stand my ground on the thing, and even if I might be feeling a little bit of butterfly in the stomach, try to do my best to kind of not let that show. And to the random lady, like, where'd you get your Robert Patrick cosplay knockoff here?
Give me an intimidation, because that is a taunt. So give me an intimidation roll.
So just to let the audience know, I have nothing in intimidation, so this is going to be all in the D20.
Audience, yeah. So for the audience, when you don't put a point to anything, it's basically rolling a D20. So that's okay.
And I rolled 19.
Oh, you got a 19. I want you to roll a grid lore for that. Give me a culture roll.
Yes.
Actually, with that 19, give me that as an edge. Give me that with edge, which is...
I got a 20, totally of 21 on that one.
Yeah. So as you have taunted this person, woman, you think, you're not actually sure, but woman, kind of looks female presenting. The putty's drill hands, they look like they're going to swipe you, but then a bubble of crackling purplish black surrounds you like a shield, and it almost feels like when you wear your power armor, but not quite. And in the middle of that, you see a symbol of an outline of an axe in kind of a white, like a little white cloud in the middle of this shield.
Is it like more of an image, or does it appear to be like a physical object hanging there?
It's up to you. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna just kind of reach for it.
All right. I'm not even going to have you roll, because a 21 for that is a really great success. You're doing really great in this dream. This dream you is kicking some hiney, let me tell you. You reach out for it, and the second you do, it transforms into this ghost axe in your hand. You can tell it's not quite where it needs to be yet, but it's coming very close. Especially, you recall in the dream you had previously that you saw something like this up on a pedestal, but you weren't able to reach it.
Yeah.
And now that you're reaching for it, you know why the thing didn't want you to reach for it. And Avestris just kind of goes, oh, sweet child. You can't win this battle. This is my world. Putty, take care of him. And the putty is actually going to attempt to hit you with a might. Yeah. This is going to be, it's a 10. What is your toughness?
17.
Yeah, that would have to beat your toughness. That 10, it just bounces off of the kind of generated shield ball thing. And Velstress just shakes her head and goes, "You can do this all night, but it's your turn."
Do this all night? Sounds good to me. Seem to put a lot of importance on whether or not someone wins the occasion. I have absolutely no desire to worry about whether I'm going to win or lose, but I'm definitely going to participate and not just lay down for individuals such as yourself. I'll let my friend worry about whether or not he's able to win the game, and I'll just be there to support the process. And with that, I'll just kind of take a look at the Phantom Axe and just see if it will do anything striking at the putty.
Give me a technology roll.
Another one that I got jack diddly on.
Well, you're getting 19, so I mean,
Yeah, I'm remaining lucky, but just out of luck. Ooh, there we go. I rolled a 7 this time.
You don't see the thing that would have told you the other thing that this axe can do, but it's still an axe, and you're just holding it. You could swing it, you could throw it. Anything that you can do with an axe, you can do with this Phantom Axe. It has some heft in your hands. It has a promising feature of heft.
Provided I still have the ability to do so, I would like to ask the putty a good question, the good old direct fashion.
Okay. I'm going to have you roll might for this, because I'm going to have you use it as a blunt weapon. And so that's going to be a might roll. Give me a might roll.
And that is it says critical success.
Yes, but
So
that's
it's only
not...
a 12?
It's only a 12, because the difficulty, the DIF is set to 10.
Gotcha. So I rolled a 12.
Unfortunately, the changeling putty, which is a 13. So you don't do any damage, but you strike with the Phantom Axe, and the putty didn't like that. And Ovestris goes...
This is totally different than the Ren Fairs.
Totally different than the Ren Fairs. And Ovestris just looks at you and goes, "You'll see what I mean. He won't be there for you when you need him." And then she brushes her hand away, and you go through that like Kingdom Hearts thing in the opening where like you sink into the earth like it's like water, and then you go back to sleep. And that's the end of that for the moment. The Phantom Axe does not sink with you; it floats. So you do not keep the Phantom Axe.
I have lost Axe Bro again.
You do not, but when you do wake up, you will notice that your Dino Buckler and your Power Coin are in your hand. Okay, so, and Cecily and Brick both get up early, right? That was what we said.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
I got a lot of stuff to do.
You got a lot of stuff to do. The question ahead, though, is I want you to give me, both of you, give me either an infiltration or a finesse roll.
I got a 21.
Cecily got a 21. Okay, then I'm going to have you do this infiltration or finesse roll as well.
Okay.
And then, so Cecily got a 21. What did Brick get for infiltration? Yeah, so Cecily got a 21, and you did infiltration or finesse?
I did finesse.
You did finesse, okay. Quentin, you did finesse as well. You got a 7.
I did, yep. I got a failure.
So you are not going to see what Cecily sees.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to happen to both of you, much like with Jane and Eddy, the roll of the dice figures whether you have the experience or not. So, Cecily, you rolled finesse. Who is your mailman?
His name is Rodrigo, and he always comments about the banners that my family has hanging outside of our house.
Well, the thing is that you've got a new mailman on the route today, and he doesn't like your banners. In fact, you get up before anyone else, and while you're gathering eggs, you notice this new mustachioed male person is reaching up and trying to take your banners from you. like they're trying to rip down things in front of your house.
Excuse me, is there a problem? This is our stuff.
They do not answer you in English. Putties have their own language called gibberish, that kind of jellyfish owl sound they make. Do you want to attempt to intimidate or anything like that? Just so you can catch them by surprise.
Okay, so actually, I have a thing.
What thing would you like to do?
I have a thing called grid speak receivers. Would I be able to, because I can, well, I'm not morphed. Never mind. I messed up.
You can only do it while morphed.
Just kidding.
You could morph if you want to. You are the first one awake. But I don't know how busy your street is. That's the only thing you have
I
to
think that's a little dangerous.
Okay, so it's just that this mailman is not speaking. It looks like a person, but it's speaking putty. And it is currently trying to do destructive stuff to your house.
I am going to go up to it and take the banner from his hands. Their hands.
Give me a might for the grapple.
And that's a 21.
Yeah, you're gonna beat the putty's grappling toughness. So
Cecily's gonna go, these are hand stitched.
you actually overdo it a little bit and you rip out just like one of the stitches, but you also take the finger of the mailman with the stitch. And it proceeds to turn to clay and then just kind of disappear into nothing. So you've gotten one finger off of this putty. They transform into a putty. Now that they know that you're, now that you know they know that you know that they know that they're a putty.
Okay, so how many people are on the streets?
We're gonna say it's early morning because I know you get up literally with the chickens, and so you don't even really have joggers out right now. The difficulty is going to be, it's not enough for a snag, but there is morning fog. So if you had not rolled that 20, I would have given you a snag for all this. But right now, it's just the two of you.
Okay, so I do want to try and fight this guy. But I mean, it's just one putty. It's just one putty. So I think, just one guy, just one little guy. So I'm going to try to fight him unmorphed right now.
Okay.
I'm going to try and throw a punch because I think I can take him out.
All right. Throwing a punch, that is going to be... so your fist is considered a blunt weapon, so it's actually going to be another might.
Oh, it's another 21. What?
It's another 21. The putty does not expect a punch that, in a very Shakespearean turn of events, seems to go right into the middle of their chest. And if they had a heart, I guess, so you can decide, do you want to have reached through a putty and found a clay heart that's going to dissolve in your hand, or would that be too weird for you?
No, I love that.
With the 21. With the 21, yeah.
I think that's beautiful and poetic, and I would like to have a clay heart dissolve in my hand.
Yes, you have a clay heart dissolved in your hand. Unfortunately for you, you are still, you are now enrobed in putty in your hand, literally. And the putty is going to take this opportunity. They're just going to try to and this is going to be against your toughness, so whatever your toughness is.
My toughness is a 14.
They're a little, they don't know how to feel about their heart literally being in your hand. So it's less like a punch and more like a flail. Like you might get brushed with the shoulder, but that 5 is half of their body kind of dissolves because even putties need a heart to live. And I'm going to let you finish them off however you'd like.
All right. So I am probably going to just like give a kick to like the bottom half of them just to kind of incapacitate them and then dust my hands off afterwards with a...
I want you to give me an acrobatics for that, because that kick it's not going to be a high difficulty, but I just want you to do an acrobatics to see what you get.
I got a 19.
Okay, you do that like Mortal Kombat kick where if you were Johnny Cage fading the guy with the 4 arms, they would have doubled over in pain. But you're Cecily Adwell, and you've just made a putty crumble in your front yard. As a bonus, you now have a whole bunch of extra like just clay. Like it's not evil clay. You just got some extra clay in your yard now.
Well, I have so many things I could make with this. So many activities.
And as a bonus, they actually had the mail. The downside of the bonus is that you now have 3 of your neighbors' mail that you have to deliver. So you're going to get a snag on the next portion of things because you have to spend some time delivering mail that you didn't intend to deliver.
No good deed goes unpunished.
No good deed goes unpunished. But in this case, that was a fun way to start your day. A little bit of extra energy in your morning.
Yeah.
For anyone that did not battle a putty, is there anything you would like to do now that you are all awake? Now that it is summer vacation, you are not trapped in a Groundhog's Day, I promise. There are putties, but that's life in Angel Grove. Is there anything you would like to do this morning before you head to Ernie's Juice Bar and Teenager Emporium?
I have a feeling that Brick is already at the juice bar, probably putting in some hours, maybe on the gym or throwing balls.
The juice bar is really big. It's more of a compound than it is a juice bar. It's called a juice bar because that was the first thing, but it's like a 3-level thing, like up to undergrads. And most of the undergrads that go to one of the Angel Grove colleges, they tend to hang up on like the 3rd floor near the planetarium stuff. But yeah, no, it's 3 levels. There's like a middle section courtyard place where people can go to like grill stuff, and so you have your choice of like a heavy bag, like a workout room. There's a weight room. Sometimes they can make space for like a fencing club or something. So yeah, you could be pretty much anywhere in the building doing what you want as long as you're like signed in.
Great. If my memory serves me correctly, there's definitely some like weights in the juice bar.
There are. They do have weight training. They do have like the rope people can climb. They do all kinds of stuff there. So yeah, you're definitely somewhere. You do, as an athlete, you do have access to Angel Grove High's track and field for personal time. But what is everyone else doing this fine summer morning before you're going to head to Ernie's Juice Bar, because that's where everybody goes when you're a teenager?
Jane is going to get up probably around maybe 11 a.m., noon, having been up in her studio working on a project. And she's going to shower and get ready for the day, get some coffee, and then look for her grandparents to see if either of them need any help around the house before she heads out.
Okay. Your grandmother is watching the Antique Roadshow, and I don't know how good she is at this, but she is attempting to knit you a pair of socks.
She is not very artistically inclined, but she tries her best, and I will, as long as it's actually wearable, I will wear it for her.
They are gray and red pinstripe socks, by the way. You don't know when your grandmother got a red yarn scheme. It definitely was not there a week ago, but your grandmother now is definitely starting to favor red a little bit.
I tell her that they look lovely and that she's doing a wonderful job, and I love the shade of red that she picked for the socks.
Your grandmother replies, "You know what I'd love today? Some peanuts. I love peanuts."
Some peanuts?
A la Willy Wonka.
I'll make like a mental note of that so I can bring some home for her.
At Ernie's Juice Bar, there is a well-priced little student store too, where you can buy peanuts and support Angel Grove High School.
That is what I will do then.
Ernie's Juice Bar, it really does have everything. Eddy, what are you doing this morning before eventually sauntering your way to Ernie's Juice Bar and Student Emporium?
Get out of bed and probably be just a little bit groggy. Mind's still on kind of what the image was. Room's a little disorganized. Probably have to move aside a few scrolls of various art that I've gotten at like some conventions or Ren fairs and whatnot that I've just never not made the time to really kind of put up on the walls to get to my closet, get my clothes, get dressed, go downstairs, and my Aunt Kim will be likely just kind of enjoying some coffee, where Uncle Dennis is probably in the backyard mowing a lawn that's already been mowed about 4 times just because he likes to ride the mower. Have a quick bit of breakfast, chat with Kim a little bit, and then head out.
Is there anything you and Kim are talking about? Any shared interests you have?
Sadly, there's really not a whole lot that we have as far as like shared interests. I've only been really living with my aunt and uncle for a little bit less than about a handful of months or so. So still kind of getting used to the situation. Nothing like terse or like tense, but still just a touch awkward.
So your Aunt Kim is going to ask you. We're still trying to make sure we're doing a little bit of a grocery list. Is there anything that you want from the grocery store while we're out shopping today?
Ooh, yeah, actually, did you get some of that like cinnamon swirl, like raisin bread?
Cinnamon swirl raisin bread. That sounds great. I think we'll get a couple of bags of that actually. That sounds like a really good way to start the day. Yeah, you see a twinkle in Kim's eye. It's great. And she says, "Yeah, I hope you have a really good day. I hope you're adjusting well. Yeah, there's a little bit of awkwardness with your Aunt Kim, but it's that kind of settling in awkwardness where she's trying to be like a good parent figure to you, even if she hasn't quite figured out everything yet. But she's trying. God love her." And Quentin, it is your turn.
Yes.
What are you doing this morning before you head to Ernie's Juice Bar, where everything is happening?
To piggyback off of him not necessarily sleeping all too much, he probably stayed up to make sure things were fine, like clean and chores were done around the house, so that when his mom got off third shift and everything back home, she wouldn't have to worry about it. And then he went to bed, woke up probably around 11:30 or so in the morning, and went to go grab a granola bar like he normally does in the morning, but then kind of paused for a moment, set it back down in the bowl, and decided to try his hand at making some eggs in the morning.
Quentin, does your kitchen have a window in it?
I kind of picture there's a window over where the sink is.
Look out the window. And are there a lot of cats in your neighborhood?
Oh, there's probably are. There probably
There's
are a lot.
There is a yellow cat sitting on the fence staring at you
Huh.
intently.
I'm gonna like awkwardly kind of wave at the cat and try to go back to focus doing the eggs or whatnot. Occasionally, every once in a while, looking back up towards where the cat was to see if it changes in any way.
The cat is never
As far as what
not
it does.
staring at you. The cat seems to be watching you, actually. I want you to give me a culture for grid lore.
All right. Ooh, success. That was a good roll. It was a 21. I got a 20 on the D20.
The cat is purring. Like, you don't know why you know this, but the cat is pleased with your
But
actions.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like I can hear it from where I am,
Yeah, like
despite
it's
it
weird.
being really possible. Yeah.
It actually feels like it's like connecting right to your like right to your heart, right to the core. Like it's a pleased purr. And if you've been feeling down the past couple of days, if you have questions about the new life you have, or you're worried about your mom, you feel soothed for a few moments. Like it doesn't feel like you're malevolently being watched, but the cat definitely stays longer than most cats would stay. But once you're done with breakfast, you're going to turn and look, and the cat will be gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'll sit down, eat breakfast with his dad, and his mom will probably still be sleeping the previous night. But yeah, he probably would have prepped a little plate of like scrambled eggs or whatnot for the cat, because I think cats can eat that, and sometimes it's healthy for them. But when he goes and sees that the cat moved on, he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I'll just put this out here anyways. Maybe he'll come back."
What are you? Your dad was not paying attention to the cat. What are you?
Right.
What are you mumbling about, son?
Yeah, he probably didn't mention anything to his dad. He just walked out with a small plate of scrambled eggs after breakfast. Not even thinking about it.
I'm going to give you a story point. I'm going to give you a story point for walking out the garden with scrambled eggs apropos of by the way, for everyone, you do get a story point every session. So make sure you've updated your story points. They all do go into a collective pool. So if you run through your story points in a game, you can use one per scene. You have the ability to ask ranger friends if you can borrow a story point of theirs, and they can decide if they would like to give you or not. By the time you get back into the house, either with or without this plate of tiny scrambled eggs, your father is putting a roast in the crock pot and is like, be home at 6 for dinner. I'm making a roast for your mother.
Sounds good. Do you need my help with that at all?
No, I'm just going to put it in the crock pot.
Okay.
It does itself. It's right in the name, crock pot.
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense, but that's just in the name. That's how it is.
Yeah. I don't know why it's called a crock pot, but they do work magic. So.
When I get my next big paycheck at work, I'm thinking about getting us one of those Instapot things because I've heard you can make soup in it in 2 hours.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into how that works. Probably
It's
some sort
magic
of
as far
pressure
as
cooker.
I'm concerned. It's like whatever the good version of the who is it up in the sky that's attacking us all the time? The repulsor lady.
Repulsor?
Repulsor. Yeah, it's like whatever the good version is of that. That's what the crock pot and the Instapot are.
Okay. Not sure I quite understand where you're going with that, Dad, but
That's okay. When you get older,
yeah.
you'll understand, son. Be home at 6 for dinner.
okay. All right. He'll just like slowly turn and just head on his way out and head towards the juice bar.
It's like when your parents have like a song they really start singing where it's like Muskrat Love from the 70s and no one else has heard of it but them. It's
right.
like that. That's the moment.
Yeah. And that's why he's just kind of going to brush it off. Be like, okay. He knew what he was saying. I didn't, but that doesn't matter.
You're all making your way to Ernie's Juice Bar. Ernie's Juice Bar is owned by Ernie, which for people who have not watched the Power Rangers should know is a fabulous, rotund, friendly guy who has a high investment in Hawaiian shirts and a sense of humor about everything, most of all his food. He's not quite like the uncle you've never had, but in a way he's like a good family friend, pretty well known in the community. Ernie's Juice Bar does have a fine selection of juices, plenty to go around, and you can get yourself like a little card that you can put money on or like a punch card for like free juice if you get like 10 of them. Sandwiches there, smoothies, sometimes pizza, sometimes burgers, depending upon if Ernie has the grill going on in the outdoor courtyard. Sometimes free samples, which people seem to like if they like semi-weird food. There are many levels to the juice bar. It's more a compound release. So anything that you want, you can find there. There's a row of lockers for you to leave your stuff in safely. There is gymnastics, boxing, rope climbing, judo. There was a portion of time where they even had square dancing classes because Angel Grove went through like Reba McEntire fever. So you've even had square dancing classes for those of you that have lived in Angel Grove for a while and have been coming to Ernie's Juice Bar for a long time. Right above the juice bar, in fact, on the second floor, it has an entire wing that is devoted to theatrical arts and painting. There is a space for a small kiln and a room just for throwing pottery. They have classes all summer long if you're not doing summer classes at Angel Grove High, Angel Grove Prep, or Angel Grove Tech. And you can also, if you've proven to have the skill and responsibility, you can just check out one of the rooms for common use. Whatever you want and whoever you want to be, Ernie's Juice Bar wants to help you become the best version of whatever it is, quote unquote. I need everybody to give me an acrobatics roll as you individually come up to Ernie's Juice Bar. Give me an acrobatics roll, everybody. Tell me what you got.
Oh, Cecily got a 13.
Jane got a 5.
Quentin got a 3.
Rick got
Really
a 5.
I got
Ooh.
a 1.
All right. I
So-
feel like the last 4 of us literally ran into each other. Like
Well-
Eddy tripped, and then the rest of us kind of just, it became like a 4-car pileup.
Yeah, so here's kind of what happened, and you did kind of all trip into each other, but Eddy discovered the pogo class as one of the less abled pogo students, one of the newer students, crashed into them. Rick, you were accosted by a group doing hacky sack, like you got beamed with the hacky and someone's foot. It was very ill placed. Quentin, there is a new Ultimate Frisbee Junior League starting, and you found out the hard way because one of them literally tackled into you while trying to catch the Ultimate Frisbee. And Jane, unfortunately, you were on the other end of that. And so as Quentin was falling, your legs kind of got tangled up, and so now you are on the sidewalk area as well. Cecily, you kind of have watched this stuff happen, but you're fine. You just like avoid all of it, and you've just watched because Brick was there earlier, so Brick did not witness this. He's inside already, but you've just witnessed 3 of your friends just like be mauled in front of Ernie's juice bar, essentially.
She's gonna be like, do you guys need help?
Quentin's just gonna kind of lay on the ground and be like, no, I'm fine. I'm gonna be here for a bit. Just give me a moment.
I mean, if you want to do the like chalk drawing class, you're already ready.
Yeah, you got the chalk? I'll trace it around myself. I don't know how it's gonna work on grass. It's okay.
Okay. Well, the important thing is that you are all there. Brick is there, whether you've seen Brick or not. What's going to happen is that you're all going to be at Ernie's juice bar. You can all decide if you want to do things, say hi to anyone. But eventually, you are going to hear an intercom paging message for everyone. Paging all lovers of fruit smoothies. All lovers of fruit smoothies. We have a new pineapple mango passion fruit smoothie flavor, free for all taste testers. Free now at the main juice bar stand.
Quentin is heading up as quickly as he possibly can, but without trying to look like he's trying to cause a riot.
Yeah, Eddy heard free food.
Yeah. Quentin heard free food. He's just like, yes.
Cecily's she's gonna make her way there. She's like, I deserve that after this morning.
Jane is also going to head that way.
Brick heard this message earlier when he was working out, but he's going back for seconds.
Yeah, there's no whey powder in it this time. The first time it was like a workout smoothie thing. So this time there's no whey powder in it. So it's actually going to taste better the second time around. And magically, once you get there, Eddy, I'm actually going to have you do this. Eddy, you're going to give me an alertness, please.
Even with specialization, I only have an 8.
You got an 8, but that's not too bad. As Quentin is walking up, Quentin, give me an alertness. Let's see if you notice this. Let's see if you do or if I'm going to. Okay.
I got a 7. I literally rolled 1 fewer than Eddy.
So Eddy, you're not gonna see this, but you're more gonna smell this. The person that Ernie has hired to bus tables, there is a table with 5 chairs, and Rodrigo, we're gonna say their name is Rodrigo, has just finished wiping it off, and if you can move quickly enough, there is a table for you and 4 of your closest friends.
Ooh, I will definitely try to snag it.
I will let you snag it. Quentin, did you see your friend Eddy snatch that table? Masterfully?
Yeah, I feel like I probably missed the table, but then saw Eddy quickly go towards the seating area, and that's when I noticed it.
Yeah, I saw in my after seeing the table and in my rush to basically kind of like reserve like the space. I'm gonna forget all about actually getting myself a smoothie and just like sit at the table.
Okay. And it is a small smoothie serving. It is like a Dixie cup of smoothie. So it's not gonna satiate the need, but it's gonna get you there. Mm-hmm. The one with the whey protein powder for earlier for Brick, it was a little bigger because whey powder makes everything like.
Yeah, it'll take.
Yeah. So, but the second serving is like super cute, and Brick, you look a little hilarious holding this tiny cup of smoothie as you approach the table. But yeah, you're all going to be at a table together. Is there anything anyone would like to talk about?
Before I get to the table, since I saw Eddy snag a table for us, I want to try to get a sample to take back for him, since he didn't get one. Will they let me do that if I tell them I'm going to bring it to my friend?
Give me persuasion.
Oh dear.
It's not going to be high, but just give me persuasion for fun. You got a 21. Ernie doesn't have a problem with it because it's not quite pandemonium. Like it's not like the Beatles are performing on the main stage, but people are pretty aware of Ernie's penchant for making weird but really good samples. So like it's not out of the realm of possibility for someone to do that.
So then, yeah, I'm gonna get mine, and I'm gonna get one for Eddy to bring back to me.
Because you did that, I'm gonna give yours like that cute little Dairy Queen little curl thing on the end. I don't know if you've ever seen a Dairy Queen cone before they dip it, but it has a little curl thing. Yeah, yours is gonna have that cute little Dairy Queen curl just at the very top of it. Just this little fun extra.
I got you, since you got a table for us, here's a smoothie sample for you, and I hand it over.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for grabbing the table for us.
Yeah, no problem.
What's up, bros? How we doing? Did you guys just get here? I've been here for like 2 hours, pumping iron. Got to keep myself in tip-top shape,
Yeah, you kind of dwarf that cup you have. Definitely have been working out pretty hard.
The last one they gave me was a lot bigger than this, and I thought they were going to give me another big one, and it was just this, and now I'm kind of disappointed. But
You want the rest of mine?
no, please keep it.
Okay.
I mean, I'll take the cup. I'm going to start stacking the cups and trying to balancing them on top of each other on the table. Like as people get more out of these empty full Dixie cups, I'm going to try to stack them one by one and try to balance them.
Cecily's going to go, I ended up with a lot of clay this morning.
Oh, I'm assuming that's more than just an art project.
Yeah. I was literally just trying to check on things outside, and there was a mailman putty. She looks around. She's like, a mailman, but he was not a mailman. And she makes a face. And she's like, and he was trying to take my family's stuff off our house.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I mean, I handled it. Fun fact, she's gonna put her hand up. They have hearts, clay hearts. Very weird.
Did you also have the lady in layers of gray weird outfit thing?
What?
Okay, so pretty sure I was sleeping, or it was a dream.
Did you sleep next to a weird lady?
Sounds like a
Is that what you're
personal
saying?
problem.
No.
Okay.
No. Weird. It was a dream because weird mirror room silliness. Anyway, there was also a whole putty thing trying to do their best impression of Terminator 2 and ooga booga in my face and intimidate me. But more concerningly was this woman in a very weird getup taunting me the whole time and essentially trying to instill doubt in our fish tank in chief.
Did anybody else have anything like this morning? I didn't have anything like that.
I did not know.
I mean, I just had not mailman
So how'd you find out they had hearts?
because I punched through it.
Wow,
You
nicely
held it
done.
in your hand?
Yeah.
Like
was-
full Indiana Jones, Kali Ma kind of.
Yeah. I literally didn't even think that it would happen. And then all of a sudden it did. And it was kind of disturbing. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to think about this too often because it might give me some kind of complex.
That's so pretty badass, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think the only interesting thing that's happened to me so far is being tackled by a extreme frisbee golf thing outside and seeing a odd stray cat earlier today.
Did you get attacked by a frisbee guy?
Yeah.
What's with all these auxiliary sports people outside? I got hit with a hacky sack today on
Man.
my way in here. Almost fell on the ground.
Maybe you guys
I
are
did.
just
I got
targets.
full on tacked. Yeah. I feel like we've been magnets today.
Yeah, I got knocked over by one of the extreme frisbee people when I got here.
I hate
That's
the
those
only-
guys.
Abnormal thing that happened to me.
Definitely gonna have to keep our wits about us when we get here from now on. Then.
As you say, keep your wits about you. So the juice bar itself, you have the juice bar. You have a couple of steps. The juice bar is like in a platform, And then it's like this really big room pit things. And sometimes they have demonstrations where they have like the Halloween dance. They have it in this kind of big area. It has a very gymnasium feel. And you're starting to notice that pieces of like gymnasium equipment are coming in, like a pommel horse and some really low uneven bars. And there's this group of like 3 gymnasts that kind of are coming into the room, and it looks like there's going to be like a gymnastics practice routine thing. Kind of sounds cool.
Yeah. Do they have a class for that? Does anybody know? For gymnastics?
I
It'd
can
probably be
go
helpful.
look and see.
Definitely avoid those extreme frisbee guys.
I thought gymnastics was on Tuesday.
Brick,
I don't know.
give me an alertness.
15.
Yeah, gymnastics is never on a Saturday because it takes a lot of time to set things up.
Guys, I'm pretty sure gymnastics is on Tuesdays and it's Saturday. And I don't know, that doesn't we should probably see what those guys are up to.
It's smelling something a little not fishy, but clay, moldable, suspicious.
Could be, but we should keep our wits about us.
So I'm staying here.
No, you're pretty witty. I mean, you should probably come along if we.
Can I ask,
that
am I within earshot of Ernie?
Everyone is within earshot of Ernie.
All right, so
Ernie is magically wherever you need, but about 20 feet to the left, essentially. You don't know how Ernie does it, but Ernie is literally always there when you need Ernie. You're pretty sure if he wasn't a Power Ranger in the past, like he's just got like energy to spare.
Yeah.
Like, he's just always there.
He's just connected to the grid somehow. Naturally.
I like to think that Ernie is just Zordon's way of keeping in touch with the Rangers when they're not.
Yeah, he's Zordon's avatar.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Ernie just to confirm. I'm going to be like, hey, Ernie, have you seen those guys around here before?
Ernie's going to go, oh, them? They're a traveling team from Stone Canyon. They asked to use the gymnasium equipment today. I thought it was a little strange to do on a Saturday, but you know, they look like good kids. They were really quiet, but they seem like really good kids. Yeah.
In between talking to you, did they ever make any weird noises like like blah, 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 or they wiggle around, play like?
That's not something I've ever seen before, but that would be really interesting to see.
Oh, sorry. I think the pre-workout's getting in my head. I'm having just never mind.
Yeah. They're gymnasts, not alternative dance.
When you say they're gymnasts, not alternative dance people, they transform, and there is absolute chaos as the 20 to 30 people leave the room. Brick, because you were looking at Ernie, you're going to have a snag because you are going. I'm not going to have it be full surprise, but because you were talking to Ernie and your attention was divided, you're going to get a snag on whatever your first thing is. But luckily, people aren't going to stick around to find out what's going on with the putties. So the space clears out relatively quickly. Ernie beckons to Jane and goes, "Come on, kids. Let's go. Let's get out of here."
You go ahead, make sure everybody else gets to safety. We'll stay and keep them occupied while everybody else gets out. And I kind of like motion for him to leave.
Give me persuasion.
I rolled a 13.
I'm just going to give that to you. Ernie is a little too afraid to stay. And he's like, all right, but if I hear screaming, I'm coming back in. And there's about 5 seconds left until the putties just seem to be kind of moving about the room. They don't seem to have an aim on doing harm until it's just the 5 of you left.
Okay.
And now everyone's going to roll initiative.
It's initiative time.
All right.
Initiative time. And then I'm going to roll one initiative for all 3 of the putties. Putty initiative is 14.
Jane rolled a 4 for her initiative.
Brick rolled a 6.
Brick rolled a 6.
Stupid snag.
Cecily got a 12.
Cecily got a 12. And we've got Eddy and Quentin for initiatives. What do you have?
I got a 17.
Eddy Thatch got a very, very lucky 20.
All right.
Oh,
And so
and mine is a critical success now that I look at it. I rolled max, but then again, so is Eddy's.
I think that has something to do with
Yeah.
the difficulty that we input
Right,
that
yeah.
in the roll.
those difficulty settings are very strange and they're not helpful. But so we're just for that, don't worry about the critical.
So it
success
just
and
helps
stuff.
my ego. I got it.
I mean, if it helps your ego, maybe that'll give you better luck on rolls. But
Right, give me a little confidence.
Eddy, there is an empty. So you have the kind of a platform, so it's 20 feet. There's like 3 steps down, and then there's this kind of 45-foot square, give or take. It's probably bigger than that in my head. I don't. It's a big enough room that there's room to maneuver, but there's all kinds of equipment in there now. Along the back wall are windows that lead to the outdoor courtyard. There's technically 2 exits because there's like a way through the kitchen, but the kitchen got closed off because it's past the counter. There are a couple like janitor's closet, but really there's just 1 door in, 1 door out.
My primary concern at the moment would be containing the putties where they're at, and not necessarily too much with directly engaging them. So I'm thinking I'm just going to make sure that I am between the putties and the 1 door.
Okay.
And essentially kind of like prepare myself as when the putty starts to make it for the door.
What is your movement? I think your movement's
30?
still 30. Yeah. So you're not going to quite get to the door. You're going to be close.
Okay.
You're going to be like at the end of the counter, and then you've got like a little column thing, and then the doorway.
But that'll be my goal. My goal is to try to get to that position.
That is your goal. That is a very admirable goal. Quentin, what are you up to?
Let's see. So Eddy is headed towards the door to kind of lock it. Was that what you
Yep, I
indicated?
want plain interference.
Okay. Let's see. And that would probably be the closest door to him. Are there any other potential exits or anything that they would try to take?
Give me a finesse, because I'm going to use the escape artist for a finesse. It's a very loose interpretation, but this is going to be like a takeoff of investigation. So give me a finesse roll to see.
Okay. Success. I got a 10.
So there's the janitor's closets. There's really the one exit there.
Mhm.
There is technically you can exit through the windows because they have those little latch things that you
Mhm.
can turn to get out to the courtyard if you need to.
Okay.
But the courtyard is a closed courtyard, so once you're there,
Right.
then you're just there.
Right. So that's fine.
really, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
I'll probably head over towards the janitor's closet, see if I can get a mop or something.
Yeah, you'll make it to the closet, but you won't be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the putties' turns, and the putties have noticed that there are 5 students still behind. They have not scared. So now they are approaching, but because of the nature of all the equipment in their way, they're kind of down at the bottom of the stairs as they get closer. One of them only makes it about halfway, so they're not quite to you yet. And then I'm going to roll intimidation. So Jane, Brick, and Cecily, you haven't gone yet. I'm going to roll intimidation for the putties. Basically, I'm going to do a diplomacy roll, and if this number is over what your willpower is, then you're going to be frightened. Okay. And so the putties they basically do that thing where they put their fingers in where their ears would be, like trying to make themselves be very cartoonishly scary. And they got a 10. So if anyone's willpower is 10 or under, you are scared. Did anyone get scared of the 3 that I mentioned? Jane, Brick, Cecily, were any of you scared?
My willpower is a 12, so.
You were not scared.
I'm not scared. I just got one's heart this morning.
And it's your turn, too.
I get that
so
reference.
Oh, great.
I'm just giving
So-
you that, too. So, yeah,
Perfect.
What would you like to do? There's 2 at the bottom of the stairs. You finished off your smoothie. It's the 5 of you in one room and 3 putties.
You know, I've been having really good luck with just going for it. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give a little puncheroo.
You're going to have to move and punch. but you can totally do that because it's not going to be
full movement.
I'm going to give you, because you're going downstairs, I'm going to give you might with a snag, just because you're doing this like at a weird angle. So I'll give you a might, but I'll give you a snag.
Might with a snag, but I have a lot of might, so
it might still work in your favor.
It might. No, I got a 7.
You got a 7. You are now grappled by one of the putties.
I had way too much confidence because I had a bowl of kick-ass for breakfast this morning, and it got me ready.
Your hubris has failed you. Luckily, you were only the mid-rank in the initiative. So, Rick, Cecily just tried to take off like a mofo and is now grappled and basically being held by a putty, formerly gymnast. They actually are putties, but they're wearing like 80s style leotards still. Like the leotards didn't transform, so they're gymnast putties.
I always loved when the putties had like little costume pieces on them.
Yes.
Well, I'm not messing around. I'm gonna morph, dude. You said no one's here, right? Everyone's gone?
Here. It's just the 5 of you.
Heck yeah, dude. Pink Falcon power. Let's rock and roll.
You try to morph. It doesn't work.
What?
And that's your, because that's giving a culture. If you can give me a 15 or higher on a culture roll, I'll let you do something. But if you get anything under 15, that was your action.
Okay, I got a 13. So I try to morph. I pull my buckler out.
Your dino buckler.
I yell, Pink Falcon power, and nothing happens.
You feel for a second like it was supposed to work, but then womp womp. Womp womp. You're just holding your dino buckler looking silly, and that silliness has paralyzed you until your next turn. And Jade, you are the end of initiative for that.
Okay. I want to go over and how far away is the closest putty to me?
Closest putty to you. Do you tend to sit in the middle when you're at a table, or do you like to sit on the end?
Normally in the middle, but I feel like I was one of the last ones to sit down because I was waiting for the extra smoothie. So I would have just taken whatever seat was available.
So I'll give you, let's say you're 30 feet from a putty.
Okay.
Bearing in mind it's going downstairs, so you're going to have that snag if you decide to do something with blunt.
Okay. I want to walk over and I want to punch it in the face.
Okay, give me a might with a snag, because punching in the face is a blunt weapon.
Heck yeah.
Oh dear. I got a 5.
You are now also grappled. So 2 rangers are grappled. 1 cannot morph. And Eddy, you have just witnessed all of this from your place next to the exits.
So this is definitely Eddie's definitely going to kind of second guess his defensive decision, as now the concern is probably going to shift a little bit more towards his friends being in danger. Did I really like notice the attempt to morph kind of situation, or was I possibly a little too preoccupied to see that?
Give me an alertness. Let's see if you give me an alertness. If your culture is higher, I'll let you roll culture for grid lore. But
they are the same, so I'll just do alertness.
Just do alertness then, yeah.
No, I probably didn't notice. So, just out of like a general indecision of the thing, I'll kind of hold my ground for a little bit, and
Now, we do have in this tabletop game, you do have, it has a fancy name, but basically you can decide to do for your turn an if-then. So if something happens, then you do this, and that'll happen regardless of where you are in the order. So if you'd like to do an if-then, if you can think of one real quickly, we can make that happen.
All right, so if one of my friends basically gets knocked down or knocked out kind of thing, then I kind of want to be ready to respond to that by trying to go to their aid in some capacity.
Trying to do what?
Go to their aid in some capacity. Not necessarily as much as like attack the attacker kind of thing, but more or less kind of like get in between.
Okay. Okay, that's definitely. Just remember you have the if then,
I'll
because
do
if
my
I
best.
don't, then we'll see what happens. So, Eddy is doing the if then. Quentin, two of your friends are currently being held, and I don't know if you saw Brick try to morph, but it didn't work for Brick.
Yeah. I saw Brick not having that great of a morning. I'm assuming he's still tired from his workout. Which two are grappled currently?
Jane and Cecily.
Gotcha.
Cecily was like, "I'm going for it," and Jane was like, "I'm going for it," and now they're both.
We went for it and it didn't go.
I am, now that I'm next to the janitor's closet, I'm still going to go to grab the mop going out from the closet.
So you have options here in the janitor's closet.
Okay.
I want to let you know you can also throw things. Using an impromptu weapon is just not blunt. You can also throw, which is targeting like it would be for if you were morphed and had bows. So you can throw heavy things of bleach at them if you want to. You can try to hit them with a mop. Anything in this janitor's closet that you see that you like, it's pretty roomy too, actually.
Yeah.
It's got quite a range of stuff and some shelves. So there you go.
Okay.
There are a lot of spills at Ernie's juice bar. They need it's a big janitor's closet. There's a lot.
How close is Brick to Quentin's location at the moment? Is he close by?
Yeah, I'm going to say that Brick was kind of at the edge of the stairs, so it's close enough that you could get to Brick or throw something to Brick and easily have Brick catch.
Okay.
Pretty good at catching.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to think of essentially a good series of projectiles you could throw.
It's also people left in a hurry, so there are also still things on the ground for Brick to throw too. So it's not all dependent. Anything is an impromptu weapon as long as you let me know what it is.
Yeah, I think I'll try to find like any bag or small box of something that's kind of relatively hard, like either dishwasher pods or bars of soap or something along those lines.
Ernie does
to try to throw him a couple.
Ernie does use one of those big boxes of dishwasher detergent stuff because he has like one of those
industrial size
dishwasher
ones.
Industrial thing. What is your brawn?
My brawn is an amazing 0.
Great. Give me a D20 for how much you can actually carry.
All right.
Because brawn is going to be based on this roll essentially. Because brawn is based for impromptu on essentially the roll.
I rolled a 13.
So you can get 2, and your aim's going to have a snag if you try to throw it yourself. But you can lift them. They're not so heavy that you can't lift them, but they're beefy.
So they're like big things of detergent, essentially.
Yeah, but it's in like a cardboard box, so you're not going to get like soap on your shelf.
Right.
Unless you roll a 1, and then that's going to happen because it's going to be hilarious. But object of that, like you're
right. Okay. How about this? Can I take these 2 things, put it in a mop bucket, and slide the mop bucket towards Brick across the floor?
I will let you do that with an acrobatics.
All right. 12.
It gets halfway to Brick. So not the full way, but halfway, which is the only way when you get a 12.
Yeah, I feel like he puts them in there and goes like, "Hey, Brick, here." Slides them over and it goes halfway. He's like, well, you're not the only one, I guess.
one of the wheels has that little like chunky sound where it spins a little bit, like it gets there and then stop.
It was like,
the whole
it's
thing
something
went
I
a
figured
lot
you could
better
throw.
in my head.
Yeah, it really played out a lot better. And I guess if I still can do something, I'll just get a hand on one of the mops, and that'll probably be all I can do.
I'm going to let you do a hand on the mop as an impromptu, but that's pretty much...
Yeah, I figure I'm still at the closet at this point,
Still at the closet. Okay, it is the putty's turn. So the putty holding Jane and the putty holding Cecily both begin dragging Jane and Cecily toward the windows, like away from you. And they're not going to get very far. They're only going to get about 10 feet. Not just because you are a human and you're being grappled, but there's gymnastic stuff in the way. And the putty that was behind is climbing forward, and their eye is on you, Brick, as the person that they see.
Why are they on me? Aren't they holding
You're in like this. No, one of them. So there's three of them. So two of them.
One of them is holding two people.
No. There's three putties
Oh.
altogether. And so one has Jane, one has Cecily, and they're being dragged back toward the windows.
And the other one is coming towards me.
Yeah, the one in the middle that was having trouble getting up to where the other two were has climbed. And so they're not going to quite get to you, but they're now at the bottom of the stairs in your vicinity.
Sorry, bro, you're going to get the attention.
It's true. Not always the attention you want, but sometimes it's the attention you'll get. Speaking of attention, Cecily, you are being dragged by a putty.
I want
Really a
to.
step down from your morning earlier with the heart.
Yeah, this is very humiliating. After I just talked up a big game, I am going to try to get out of this grapple by, like, maybe grabbing one of the legs to, like, make myself, like, be on top. I'm trying to, like...
Yeah, give me, I'm going to give you athletics because this involves throwing, hurling, and you're not throwing, but I'm going to give that for you. So give me an athletics.
All right, I got a 16.
You're so angry that you end up getting out of the grapple and flipping the putty to the floor. Like, it was a cool somersault move, and anyone that saw it would have been like, cool beans, and you're no longer grappling.
Cool beans.
I was having a good hair day, too.
So that's... Yeah, okay, so Britt, Cecily has just gotten out of their grapple, and you definitely saw that somersault. It looked really cool.
Cool beans, Cecily. Okay, so I have a putty coming towards me, and I'm ready to throw stuff because that's what I do. So I'm gonna.
You have an awkward mop bucket a couple feet from you with some
mop.
soap.
I'm not gonna use the mop bucket. I'm gonna see if there's. Is there maybe some like some things around me that I can grab to maybe throw? Perhaps.
You've got those. You've got a serving tray full of smoothies, a couple empty serving trays. One kid left their Converse behind, so you've got some shoes. You know, you've got your choices. Like anything that somebody would have either left behind or something you'd find in like a juice bar cafeteria setting, I will probably likely give you as long as it's not like a blender or something.
Okay, I'm gonna take some of those serving trays, some of those empty serving trays, and kind of use them as discs, frisbee things.
That's gonna be a targeting. Now, are you trying to destroy the putty, or are you trying to knock it off balance? What is your goal?
It's coming towards me, so I'm trying to delay that from happening.
All
so
right,
I guess knock it off balance.
Give me a targeting. How did you do?
I got a 12.
Okay, you got a 12. So that worked. You actually did not realize you had thrown two trays, and one of them brains it, and then the other one hits it in the knee. And so now it has also flipped over onto the ground, matching Cecily.
Work.
Unfortunately, because it's gymnastics equipment, they're on those like blue beanbag mats that are like really big, the blue mats. So it doesn't do any damage, but it looked really cool, which is important. And then Jane, you are grappled, and Cecily is no longer grappled, and Britt couldn't transform. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, things are up and down.
I would also like to try to get out of my grapple.
How would you like to get out of your grapple? You can just straight roll might and be like, I'm going to ungrapple myself, or you can do something fancy.
I think I just want to roll might and see if I can get out of it, because that's my best.
All right, might to ungrapple it.
Is it just normal, or do I have to roll it with a snag?
Don't do it with a snag. Yeah, just do it normal.
I got a 7.
You try to hit it on the foot because you think that's going to work. And then you remember they're made of clay, so they don't really have feeling in their foot. And you are still grappling.
Can I use one of my story points to re-roll that?
You can use a story point to re-roll.
Okay, I'm going to do that. 19. Yes.
19. That's great. You sideswipe the putty. You're just not feeling it. Like, Cecily got to have a really cool morning where she like took out a clay heart. Like, what is that? Why don't you get to do that? And that anger allows you to sideswipe. You sideswipe, and you also kick the putty where its ribs would be, just by the nature of how sideswiping something works. So Cecily and Jane, you are both slightly closer to the windows than everyone else, but Yeah, you are no longer grappled, and
Cecily's gonna go, girl power.
Right on.
Rick has just the putties are down. They're not dead, but they're down. So that's a good start. Eddy, we are back up to you.
Yeah, so regardless of it being more of like a passive action at the time, it appears to me that my friends are doing rather well, so I'm going to continue to essentially try to guard the exit.
Okay. You also have the ability to taunt, distract, frighten. You could use your risk communicator to talk to Zordon if you want. Have options outside of just straight combat, like any skill check you can think of could be done during combat. And if you think of something, because you haven't done anything this turn, I'll let you do that out of turn. But we're going to move steadily along. Then, Quentin, it is your turn.
There was a group of 3 of them, you said earlier, by close to where Brick was. Is it just 2 there now?
So one is close to Brick, but they're felled, and then one is close to Cecily and Jane. They're closer to the windows, but they are felled. You try to hit the ones next to Cecily and Jane, you're definitely not going to make that, just because they're slightly farther out and there's gymnastic equipment in the way.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to take them off and go towards whichever one is closest to where I am right now.
What do you want to do with the mop?
Right now, I'm essentially thinking of unscrewing the actual mop head or removing it from the bath part of it, I guess I should say, and going to try to go in and attack the putty with one of those items, essentially, depending on what I can do.
Okay, because it's going to take you some time to get there, I'm going to let you do a might with a blunt weapon, but do it with a snag, just because you're only going to get them with the edge of the broom. So,
okay, 7.
So a 7 is not you hit the pommel horse in your righteous fury and indignation. You do not hit Jane, thankfully, but you hit the pommel horse. But you were near Jane. So there you go, just to give you an idea of where you are.
Hey, I'm here.
You are there. The putties are all going to try to get back up, and we'll see if that works. So the putties, they're feeling their gymnastics fantasy, and they, do that backward somersault thing that we've seen Kimberly do in the Power Rangers, because I don't know how else to describe it. And all 3 of them kind of get up simultaneously. They are
little thing.
One mind at the time. And they make noises in everyone's faces, except for Eddy, because Eddy is farther away. So, Cecily, the putty has just gotten up.
You're not getting away that easy.
Do you want to? You can say that as a taunt. I'll let you.
Oh, I'm going to taunt. I'm going to say, you're not getting away that easily.
Cecily, roll intimidation for seeing if you can intimidate them.
19.
You have intimidated that putty, and they are booking it for the window. It looks like they're trying to get out to the courtyard.
Oh, I'm like, oh. So can I try to catch it so I can pummel them?
I will let you do your movement. Give me, because you've got gymnastic equipment in the way, give me athletics, and we'll see if you catch up.
Oh, I got a 9.
Yeah, those blue gym mats, when you're a high schooler, are not as friendly on the knees. It's like you're trying to run on the moon. So you are at about half speed following this putty towards the window. But you're not grappled, so there you go. Rick.
Okay, so there is a putty running away from us.
With Cecily giving chase.
Cecily giving chase.
The putty looking at you waves their arms around and it's like.
How close are they to me, this putty?
It's at the bottom of the stairs. So because you're the Pink Ranger and it's slightly more flexible, athletic, I won't make you do it with the snag. You decide you want to jump down the stairwell and tackle.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about doing a little jump down attack.
Just because you have more athletics as a character than the others, I will let you do that without a snag if that's what you wish to do. But bear in mind, you also have Quentin's mop bucket plan right there.
You always make the ground slippery for him. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Is the mop bucket full, or is it just
It's got 2 containers of soap. I'm assuming liquid soap.
Yeah, it's like a dishwasher thing.
Okay.
But it's still something on wheels.
Right. I was thinking maybe I take a bucket and like try and like jump on him and then like put the bucket over his head.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome.
You're going to be able to take stuff out of the mop bucket in order to do that, but you will not be able to do that this round, like taking stuff out of the mop bucket just
We'll
because of
take
how
a
heavy they
turn.
are.
All right,
That will take a turn based on how heavy they are.
Okay. Is the putty coming towards me still, or is he like stationary?
It's stationary by virtue of it not being their turn, but on their turn, they will be coming up the stairs towards you.
Okay, then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of these mop buckets and I am going to throw the water out and try and splash the putty.
Okay.
With the soapy water so that when they try and attack me next turn, they slip and fall.
I'm going to let you do this with acrobatics for the kicking. So give me an acrobatic to see if you mess up this putty's day.
14.
A 14. There was only about half the amount of water in it that you thought there was, which actually works in your favor because you being the the mop bucket lands on the top of the stairs in just the way where it does that flippy thing, and it actually like pops up at the end, and a mop bucket is successfully on the head of this putty.
Skyrim tactics.
Okay.
You haven't done any damage, but now the floor is wet and they're wearing a bucket on their heads, so you know.
Oh, you just gave the putty armor now.
They don't get impromptu
Super
armor,
putty.
so that's kind of a thing.
But he's also blinded. I mean, it's not a very useful helmet.
So Jane, Cecily is going after her putty. Brick has blinded theirs, and Quentin and Eddy are on either side of the room. You have a putty staring you down. What do you want to do?
I think I'm close to Jane, aren't I? Because I think I attacked.
Oh yeah, no, yes. So you and Jane are together, but it's Jane's turn. So
yes, exactly.
Is there anything around me in arm distance that I can use as a weapon?
I have the mop handle.
Yeah, there is the mop handle.
Which I'm fine if you want it.
There's also a gym rope, like one of those thick gym rope things that's right there that you could use.
Yeah. I mean, my plan was to give you the mop handle, essentially. It's the closest thing to a sword I could find.
I'm going to pick up the rope, I think. And I want to try to, like, lasso this putty and, like, yank it so they fall down.
All right. Give me I'm going to let you do this with finesse. I'm going to use the escape artist for this again. Give me a finesse, and let's see what happens.
Oh, dear. I got a 9.
What you fail to realize is that with the kind of tension you go to do with this, and your arm gets hooked into the rope a little bit, and just because of how this is kind of draped, you actually end up flinging yourself closer to the window. You did the opposite of the thing you wanted, but now the putty is out of reach, so it can't hit you. But you are also farther away from Quentin. Ironically, you and Cecily are about in the same place on opposite sides of the room. You're just tangled in a rope while you do it.
Awesome.
Okay, and then we're back at the top of the round. Eddy.
So Jane just established feng shui for the room. Nice symmetry on all sides.
It really tied the room together. It really tied the room.
So we got Quentin with a mop handle and a nearby putty. We got Buckethead putty, and then we got what's the general status of the putty that Cecily? I'm sorry,
the putty
Cecily. There we go. The Cecily head was running away from her, and she's given chase.
Yeah, the dominated putty.
Yes. So at this point, I think. But how far am I from Quentin's putty? Would I be able to try to close the distance in a reasonable time, or am I still pretty far out?
You'd be closer to Cecily's putty, actually.
His putty? Would I be able to essentially get between the putty and the window?
I will allow that with a high enough athletics.
And then that is what I'm going to attempt. Athletics, I am not. But I rolled super good. Yay! I got a grand total of 21.
So you hit these blue mats just in the correct way, where your your foot strength is so good that you fall, but you fall enough that the ensuing like surf wave of blue gym mat actually slams the putty into the window, and the window creaks open just slightly.
Uh-oh. That's entirely as intended.
Not entirely as intended, but it
Yeah.
was hilarious looking for anyone that actually saw it in the time.
I'm gonna do my best to compose myself with some sort of I intended to do that kind of mannerism.
You do like a laying down pose with like your hand up at your just kind of chilling there.
And I'd probably be a little bit more concerned about getting to my feet and essentially like just trying to maybe like brush the hair out of my face so I can kind of do that dopey taking credit for the moment that I was obviously a mistake kind of thing.
But it worked out. And Quentin, it's going to be your turn.
I mean, these putties, they're made of clay, so hitting them with something might possibly just stick in them.
They're made of clay, but they also have heart. Don't forget the lesson we learned today.
I remember their heart, yeah.
Until they don't, and even then they still have a heart. And
Everything has a heart as long as it's narratively,
Important,
useful.
yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make my way towards Jane a little bit more when I do this, but I'm mainly attacking the putty. I'm going to try to shove the mop end part, the part with all the little white strings or whatnot. I'm going to try to shove it into the putty's forehead if I can, so that it's just hanging in front of his face afterwards.
Give me a might for that.
Can I use the strike bonus to shift it up one?
What does your strike bonus do? Strike bonus being one of the perks that you have received as a level 2.
You can shift up whatever dice attack that is. My might right now is a 0, so would it just go to a D2?
A D2. Yep.
All right. 24.
There's no terrible way to say this, but you
How is that possible?
disappear. You, like, all of your might, like, you've been wanting to do something, you've got this mop head.
Right.
You, like, jam it towards the putty, and you just get kind of enough force, and there's just, like, enough slickness to the gym mat that you go out the window with the putty, and then you are teleported away.
Oh, that's not good.
You're teleported in yellow. So
Right. So it's a good teleport.
It's a good teleport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Potentially it's a good teleport, but you definitely just but Quentin has just left the building. The putty is more confused than anyone about this, actually. The putty was not teleported, but when they hit the sunlight, it kind of breaks apart and evaporates, like the heat turns it into like brittle clay. Quentin has just disappeared. The brick putty is the only one that's going to do anything because the other putty has a face full of window. The putty facing brick is going to take the mop bucket off of its head, and you know that it's a putty language, but it definitely sounds like it's muttering angrily at you, Brick. Like it definitely sounds like a muttering angry gibberish. Like they were not happy because now they're wet and they have a mop bucket on their head. It's not a happy putty.
Non hopscotch.
Yes, the putty is not going to be intimidating because now they're holding a mop bucket. But that was generally what they were going for.
They got a big yellow helmet.
Yeah. Cecily, you just saw one putty burst into flames, a la vampires, and Quentin just got teleported away.
Well, it looks like things are amiss. So I'm going to head toward the outside to see if I would go too, just because I am trying to test a theory.
You've got a theory that it's a demon, a dancing demon. No, something's not quite right there. Give me finesse. We're going to use escape artist for this again. Give me finesse.
I got a 9.
You forgot there was a putty in front of you. So you can't actually exit the window with the putty. Like you're going to have to go to the next window over or like tumble out the window with the putty. So you'd like to know what happened, but unfortunately it's just not going to work out at this moment.
I gave it a shot.
You give it a shot. You tried so hard.
You got so far. Doesn't even matter.
Speaking of tried so hard, Brick, the wet Mop Bucket Putty has their beady little eyes on you, or where eyes would be if they had eyes.
Can I? Okay. I want to like try and use my communicator to either like contact Alpha or to like maybe see if they know where Quentin is, or maybe try and contact Quentin.
Great. Using your communicator does not involve you doing anything. That is a free action.
That's a free action. Work.
Whatever
Okay,
you
cool.
would like to say to Alpha or Zordon on your wrist communicator, please do so now.
Okay. Hey, Alpha and or Zordon, whoever's listening. I hope one of you are listening. Do you have a read on Quentin's energy signature? He just kind of disappeared and teleported.
Aye, Pink Ranger. We've got Quentin safely here. You have to get out of the building. We have news.
We gotta get out. Okay.
Only you heard that because it's Alpha, so it's very much a femme higher pitch voice. So nobody else heard that.
I'm gonna do something so sick, nasty, Power Rangers '90s that it's gonna be so cool, and I better roll really hot.
Please do. What are you trying to do first?
I'll tell you what I'm gonna try and do. So the floor is wet, right? So I'm gonna take one of those, one of the serving trays that are laying around me, and I'm gonna like flip it like a skateboard and slide down the stairs, knocking over the putty, and then like sliding out of the juice bar.
Great.
And as I'm doing,
All Legolas, pretty much.
yeah, very a la Legolas
Yeah.
for sure. And
Yes.
doing that, I'm gonna let my teammates know that we have to get out of the juice bar.
So, for your choose your own adventure style X Games inline skating content,
I would like to use a story point for this too, if that's possible, to help. Anything I can do to help this be a successful.
because this is so momentous. You can only use story point to reroll. You can't use it. To
Oh, okay, work. Okay.
But I'm going to let you do this with Edge because I also want this to work. But I'm going to give you this with Edge because I am a nice Zordon, and also because I really want to see this happen. So I'm going to give you an Edge on acrobatics, which includes gymnastics, which is what this is.
You can do it.
I hope so. You said you're giving me an edge, right?
Edge, yes, which is advantage in D&D parlance.
14.
You get to like pass the pommel horse. You don't get out of the window, but everyone has heard the message to get out of the building. Unfortunately, you fall off of the thing because you're much too tall for what you're trying to accomplish. So it's not
Do
like
I
you were
slip
attacked by putty.
backwards and fall onto the putty?
You fall onto the mat. You are far beyond the putty. So you're close to the window, but you didn't quite make it. But it was very cool. So thank you for trying. Jane, you are tangled in a rope, but Brick has just announced that you have to leave the building, and also Quentin has disappeared. So there's that.
I would like to untangle myself from the rope is my first order of business.
Yes. I want you to do, give me finesse for that, because that's escape artist skill. It won't be difficult, but if you get like a 1, it's only going to make
I got a 10.
Gotcha. So you successfully detangle yourself, but you're still holding on to the rope. So you could like pirate swing your way out if you want.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
For
pretty awesome.
a pirate swing, just give me athletics because that's like a sport activity thing.
A 13.
Great. So where Brick was trying to get out of the window, you pirate swing yourself with the rope, and like you passed by Brick, but like in the next window over. Do you want to like wave at Brick as you're exiting the building? Before
Oh, yeah.
you...
Yeah, so I imagine I like take the rope and like throw it up into the rafters and then swing. And as I'm swinging, I'm waving at everybody and yelling, "Come on, we got to get out of here."
And you disappear once you hit the courtyard in a red electronic hologram thing of teleportation. Brick, I don't know if you have a SAD for that. I'm not going to give you a SAD, but you definitely just got out cool by Jane, just to let you know.
Sorry.
And then the red versus pink rivalry starts.
And it begins. We are back at the top of the round. Eddy, it is your turn. Rick has announced we have to get out of the building. Jane has just pirated herself away.
But we still have 2 relatively active putties, do we not?
Yeah, there are putties. One of them is blocked by Cecily currently. and Brick inline skated away from the second. So there are 2 putties.
Blocked by Cecily is the one next to the window.
Yeah, so basically it's window, putty, and then Cecily right behind because Cecily was trying to exit, but the putty was there.
Part of my thought was when I might be able to like push him out the window, because hopefully to have him the same sun treatment as his friend. But if there's no room, then
might is pushing. I will actually give you that because that's like grapple push. So if you want to roll might, we can make that happen.
Yeah, so that's what I'll try. I'll try to assist the putty in a sunbathe.
Assist the putty in a push. You have to get over 12 to make this work because that's base difficulty.
Ooh, gosh diddle darns. I rolled a 7.
So like you don't full on fall, but you kind of like in your fervency to push the putty, you kind of end up on like one knee, and you're just like, it's almost like you're proposing to Cecily. It's actually kind of sweet as a tableau.
Oh.
Okay, I probably just turned about 5 shades of red.
The putties are
That's
very,
somebody else's color.
I know, but I'm totally stealing it.
The putties are very confused. So the putties are just like, what is going on? They expected intimidation or battle, and this is very not what they planned. So they are surprised enough that they're just kind of hanging out. And so, Cecily, it's going to be your turn.
Okay. So I know that I got to try and get out, and I know that we're kind of in a pickle. Can I?
You do have something called infiltration, which is burglary, sleight of hand, shadowing, and stealth. So if you want to try to reverse infiltrate to get out of this window, like with Eddy, I will let you do that.
I'm going to give it a shot. Let's do that.
Yeah, throw up an infiltration, and we'll see what.
Let's give it a shot. I'm either going big or going bad. So
I mean, it's gotta do something.
It's a 12.
Well, you get the putty outside, and the putty breaks up into pieces, but it's just your hand that makes it outside. It's very warm and refreshing, but as the putty explodes, you realize your hand is not being teleported. Like all of you needs to be out there, and like Eddy is right there too. So it's a bit of a schmiggin, but you're getting there. The window is open and your hand is outside.
Awkward.
It is awkward, and then I'm going to have Brick go, and then we're going to speed this up so that we're not dwelling too much. But Brick, I'm going to have you do whatever you want to do now. What would you like to do?
In that case, I'm going to make a break for the exit, and on the way, I'm going to grab Cecily and Eddy's hands, and we're going to jump out the window, very Swan Lakey, and transport to the command center.
Great, because I'm going to say this is like a drag lifting thing. You're going to give me brawn. Yeah, so you know how you threw that mop bucket earlier? Your hands were soapy. You fall over.
I fall again?
Oh.
You fall over because I'm a nice person and a good GM. You fall, but it's one of those things where you kind of trip on yourself and you roll out the window and you disappear. You disappear.
You fell with style.
Fell with style and you rolled out the window and you disappear. Oh my God. Cecily and Eddy, how would you like to get out of the building now? Because you are the only Rangers left and you know that you need to leave.
All right. Note to self, don't grab the soap to help.
We tried
that
something.
Backfired horribly.
I'm going to, since I'm still, kind of halfway trying to get out, I'm going to try to duck and roll, kind of up and duck, up and jump roll.
Okay. Give me athletics. This will not be high difficulty.
That's definitely what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Not going to be high difficulty.
19. Finally.
19. You're in a great place to just kind of not scoop up Eddy. That is the wrong word. But you can intertwine elbows and do that chorus line thing.
Yeah.
You just kind of yank Eddy with you, and you disappear together in your respective teleportation colors.
The whole time I am doing the best I can to not make eye contact. I'm still probably just embarrassed as holy crap.
Yeah, and when you land in the teleportation, you knock into Cecily right away. So you're the last two, and not everyone's not staring at you, but because you're kind of the last one in the building, like eyes generally drift in that direction. So how do you handle being embarrassed / teleporting, Eddy?
Probably immediately like looking at the ground, doing the absolute best I can, but like put my hands somewhere inconspicuous, like my pockets, behind my behind my back for any given reason. But just doing my absolute best to try to mitigate any additional possible embarrassment
Well, Alpha
with
5
contact.
Alpha 5 is not going to be helpful because Alpha 5 is going to say, Eddy, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just that was a little much.
Aye. We're so glad we got you out of there. Zordon and I have been working so tirelessly to figure out what's been happening. We have a lead. I'm glad you're all here, Rangers. And Zordon says, yes, Rangers, we have made a distressing discovery. I was glad to see you were able to exit the building, and there is a very specific reason why it was important for you to exit the building. Would anyone like to ask questions or say anything?
Oh, yeah. I want to ask Zordon why I couldn't morph. Hey, Zordon, why couldn't I morph?
That is a wonderful and astute observation, Mr. Kerrigan. And the reason is because there was a dumpster containment unit placed on top of Ernie's juice bar. It is one of 3 containment units that were placed upon places where teenagers gather in the city. It was placed there by Rita's third in command, Finster, who creates all the putties and creates most of her gadgetry. And it is an enacted spell containment unit that dampens Morphin activities. It is very unsettling that she predicted this, but we have discovered the location of 2 of them. The third, we have a map of a general area, but we have not been able to figure out the location of the third one yet.
Is there any way for us to destroy these? What can we do about them?
In order to destroy them, you must get close to them. They cannot be destroyed from far away. And there are a few different ways to destroy them. But if there are rangers willing to get close to them, we can relay instructions once you're there. It involves your blaster. If you are not in the building, you should be able to morph and use your power blaster or your blade.
Dealing with them even in close proximity, we're still able. It's still not necessarily.
We would have to morph, then go to where it is.
Risk type thing.
It's a spell enacted from the inside. So once you were on the roof, you could morph on the roof.
Yeah.
Is the other known
just like a
location the
ward.
school?
So one of the locations is Angel Grove High School. If you look,
That's why I couldn't morph in the school that one time.
Seems kind of inconvenient.
I don't mean to.
Rita's good at inconvenient things.
I don't really mean to kind of be a sourpuss to your earlier comment of Rita's grand ability to kind of anticipate, but it kind of seems like there's a pattern here. High school, this little juice bar place. I'm pretty sure that your enemies are just assuming you're going to pick kids.
Well, the powers of the Morphin grid work best with those who are in tune with their emotions in a heightened state. This is a universal grid philosophy of many of the different warrior types. But it is hard to, because I am here in this temporal chamber and Alpha cannot leave the building. It is hard to anticipate exactly what Rita will have Finster do. And so it was hard. It is difficult to enact the spell. And then Zordon doesn't have hands, but he kind of does that bobbing head nod thing toward the viewing globe. And there is a map of like a 5-block radius of Angel Grove.
Does it say what's in that area? Or?
Small out of character clarification. He mentioned there were like 3 of them, and you only know this position 2, or did I not catch it? Okay.
Two of them are explicitly known to be Ernie's Juice Bar and Angel Grove High. The third one, there is a map of a 5-block radius, and this is kind of somewhere between suburban and technical parts of the city, closer to a military base, kind of close to like the gentrified part of town, but it's a 5-block where there's a lot of things in this area. and there are checks for anyone that wishes to try to assist to identify anything that might have teenager.
Yeah, I
in
think
the
I would
area.
definitely be interested.
I would like to make such a roll. What skill do you acquire?
That's going to be either streetwise, or if you're absolutely certain you would know, persuasion with truth. So streetwise is going to be your best bet, or survival, because that's cartography. So streetwise or survival, I'm going to give it to you.
Would the persuasion with something else?
Persuasion would be like truth, like you've been to the area before, you definitely know what it's going to be.
Gotcha.
Like you fathomably recognize that for whatever reason.
Gotcha. So in that case, I intend to roll streetwise.
I rolled streetwise as well, and I got a 17.
Okay,
Cecily
cool.
is not from around here, and she rolled survival and got a 5.
You definitely thought that was like a stable, and you're like, I know it's not a stable, and if I say it, I'm gonna feel weird about it. And also, like, you're pretty sure Eddy Thatch proposed to you earlier while you were battling putties. So you're
Still
like,
a little.
I was
you're
like,
gonna be about that.
it's all weird.
I can't even really look at the map too terribly clearly. I'm still trying to make sure that whatever I do, it's not putting myself in further embarrassment or seeing the judgmental look in my friend's eyes that I just did a bunch of foolish things.
So Jane got an 11, Rick got an 11, Eddy got a 5, Quentin got a 17, Cecily got a 5. Quentin, you know this. Rick, you kind of know this. Jane, because you're from a military family, you know the area, but you don't know what the buildings are really there. Like, if someone put like a Google Earth pin in it, you'd be fine. Brick, you're pretty sure this is a different high school. It's just on the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite place it. Quentin, that is Angel Grove Prep, where all the fancy kids go.
Gotcha.
That is their campus, and it's a campus made to look like it's a part of the city more than Angel Grove High. Angel Grove Prep is kind of that fancy, shiny Chilton Academy type vibe, so it's like more upper class. But there's no reason Zordon couldn't have an upper class ranger.
Right.
Yeah.
Privileged family.
Yeah.
So
Quentin's probably been in that area. And,
yeah.
Imagine himself at that school.
Yeah, so that's Angel Grove Prep, Angel Grove Preparatory Academy, which in Angel Grove doesn't necessarily mean anything for reasons you'll find out in future episodes. But you definitely know that's Angel Grove Prep. You are 99% certain that is what that is.
Yeah, that's Angel Grove Prep. That's just another school.
Well, I guess covering their whole bases, I guess. Hey.
I got a thought though. What if it's more of a situation of, instead of just covering like recruitment bases, it's also essentially hiding a target. So you have the school where we're at, the place we congregate, to essentially try to throw a wrench into the recruitment drive. Being able to assemble, and then the prep school is not so much done with the concept of additional recruitment, but perhaps that's where Rita plans to maybe do something more direct or violent.
Yeah, do a plan of attack, but at a place that we can't respond very well.
Anything is possible, Rangers, but this is something to bear in mind. And I'm going to say this is the GM. You only get 3 teleports per session, essentially. And you've already used one of them from Ernie's juice bar. So you only have 2 teleports left. So you do know you need to go to all 3 of these locations and deal with the thing. But now there needs to be like a decision of who's going where. There needs to be a decision
Rangers.
or you could all 5 go to one location at a time, but that's going to be much more difficult.
Zordon, what kind of skill set would it take to take out one of these?
The dumpster containment. The dumpster containment units holding the spell are modeled after the container that Rita herself was put into prison in. There is a cosmic jewel atop this containment field, which is a iron version, essentially, of what I'm in. And the jewel must be destroyed. There's no force field on it, so it can be taken down, but it is a small jewel atop a bigger container. There is no...
brute force situation here, or there's more technical finesse to it than you might I might
Well,
think.
we would use our blasters essentially.
That's right.
So
That
high
was
amount of
mentioned.
energy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Rangers, Alpha goes, Rangers, we don't know exactly if Rita has a defense against someone finding these. So be careful while you're there, and be careful as you destroy them. There could be mystical blast back from destroying the crystal because they're holding a great deal of energy. So be careful.
All right. Sounds to me like we got to split up and take care of these things.
Yeah.
Quentin, since you know about the prep school the most out of all of us, maybe you should head there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking too.
Well, there's 5 of us, and there's 3 places to go.
Yeah.
So probably go 2 and 3.
I mean, do we want to try and knock them
2,
all
2,
out
and
in
1
once,
if you
or
wanna
should we
play it
try and
risky?
or should we try and do?
You're like 2, 2, and 1.
We don't know that we can only transport twice, right? We don't know that.
Zordon has made that official announcement.
Okay.
So
Okay.
We
you
do
get
know
the
that.
3.
There's
Yeah, that
only
was
enough teleportation energy for 2 more.
And it's like 2 per person, right?
You can still walk places once you're there. It's not like Angel Grove is big, but I'm not setting this up as the GM where it's going to be a 3-hour long hike in your morphin, because you can morph and unmorph as much as you want. The teleportation is the sticking point of it.
Yeah. How far away are these locations from each other?
So Brick and Quentin, you'll just know this, that the prep school closer to the military base, if this were a triangle, that would kind of be the farthest point. And so Angel Grove High is in the suburbs, and Ernie's Juice Bar straddles the suburbs of what's called the inner city. So Ernie's Juice Bar and Angel Grove are closer to each other, and then Prep is farther out because it's fancy, and there's special trees and junk they've got, and they're quad.
I have a suggestion to the team, and I do have a thought behind it, so I'll try to explain that. But we got the prep school, as Brick pointed out. Quentin is already kind of familiar with that, so kind of a natural pick for that, I would think. Quentin, you're very familiar with Angel Grove High. My portion of my concern is that we already know that the Ernie's Juice Bar has essentially been evacuated, but we don't know about the other locations.
That's true.
That's a good point.
So, however
Eddie,
we
you
split
may
up
not
to
be
go
good
to
at
those
talking to
spots.
girls, but you're pretty smart.
Okay. But
No, that's a great idea.
what I was thinking is, thank you. What I was thinking was, I was thinking something. Okay, no, actually, I got it again.
I think you got.
I want to try to. I volunteer to try to handle the power grid thing at the juice bar, because I can focus on just that, and then the other 4 of you split off into the twofers. I do kind of think that it might be important to kind of try to hit it all at once. And worst case scenario, I do think that you guys would finish before I would, 2-to-1 kind of situation. You guys can just meet up with me, and I can at the very least try to just draw out any difficulty or problems I encounter.
And I would also like to
get there.
If any group runs into putties or any kind of issue and they need help, radio to Alpha and have Alpha teleport the other members to them. That way we can save one of our teleports in case someone gets into trouble and they need help.
Good point.
Well, that's a good follow-up, because if we do kind of the Hail Mary thing, we're conserving that teleport resource, so it's still available for reaction.
Yeah, and we can use our communicators to help each other figure out how to destroy these things. Like if one of us figures out there's a trick to it or something.
GM point. You don't know that your risk communicators will communicate with each other. Thus far, you with Zordon.
We don't know that yet.
So if someone wants to do that, someone will have to work on that with Alpha. In fact, Alpha will say, I don't know if these risk communicators will allow you to talk with each other.
Oh, okay.
Cell phones?
Okay, then why did you call them communicators?
Well, they still communicate here,
Yeah,
even if they're not
yeah.
kind of an omnidirectional
Yeah, we could play a game of
situation.
telephone with
It's still technically
the
accurate.
base. I guess.
And your cell phones aren't heavy, so when you morph, like you have a small set of weight you can have with you.
All
So
right.
like when you had the Power Ranger season where the guy had a cowboy hat when he morphed, and he kept the cowboy hat, so you can still have your cell phone.
Yeah.
They're not heavy.
We'll
so-
still be able to communicate somehow.
Do I have all of your numbers?
I don't think I paid my bill this month.
Oh. Well,
That's not exactly the truth. He's just too embarrassed to give his number to a girl.
oh.
Okay, I am going to have everyone roll me a d4.
Jane got a 1.
Eddie got a 1.
Jane got a 1. Eddie
Cecily got a
1,
2.
Cecily got a 2.
Quentin got a 3.
Quentin got a 3. Brick got a 4. I'm going to do this clue style.
Oh.
And so
1 plus
Jane-
1 plus 1 plus 1.
yes, Jane and Eddy as the ones are going to go somewhere together. I'm not going to tell you where you need to go, but you're going to figure that out. Cecily and Quentin as the 2 and 3, you're going to go somewhere together. And Brick, you're going to go wherever the location is. Because you rolled the 4 the highest, I'm going to let you decide what location you want to go to by yourself. And figure out a way to talk to your comrades.
Should we really be letting him out by himself?
No.
I think he'll be
Uh,
fine.
You can also overrule me too and be like, no, I want to do this. I'm just trying to
No, that's
start moving things along here.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if
I think
if you want to mute me,
Brick
if you want
might
that,
be
that's
the most
fine.
familiar with the juice bar, honestly, since he works
Yeah,
there.
the juice bar I think is the best place for me to
Yeah.
go. So I think
And
I'm
I-
gonna go to the juice bar.
Yeah. And I think if Quentin and Eddy are on the 2 separate ones, that might be good if the location does need to be evacuated. Having one person that's social on each end with persuasion would probably be good.
You're not wrong, and I'll take Angel Grove because I don't know crap about that damn prep school.
Yeah, I'll take prep school.
All right.
Okay,
So
so-
I'll head up, I'll head up
Okay.
to the juice bar. Eddie and Jane, you guys can hit up the school, and Quentin and Cecily, you guys are going to go to the.
fancy school.
Yeah.
Just everyone keep in contact with Zordon and Alpha because that way,
Mhm.
if somebody needs help, we can get them to teleport the rest of us.
Yes.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. Because each of these locations, unbeknownst to you, has a different setting. Easy, medium, and hard. And I'm not going to tell you which location you're at until you're there and what's going to happen. So we are going to begin. So everyone is going to be teleported to the location they're going to, and you're going to figure out a way to get where you need to go. And then you're going to see what you're facing. And then it'll be like a big initiative brawl thingy. So Eddy and Jane, you are headed to Angel Grove High School. Now, the great thing about Angel Grove High School is that summer school classes have not started yet, so it is empty. The issue with it being empty is that it is locked, but there's no one there.
Not even any like faculty or cleaning staff or anything of the nature.
Nope, it is locked. There are different entry points. There is a fire escape near the dumpsters out back. There is chain link fences. You do have infiltration, so you could try to like break into the school if you want to. Like you have to decide how
You did
want
say we have to transform before we go in, right? Because we won't be able to once we get there. Is that right?
If you go inside the building, you can't transform. It
Okay.
won't demorph you once you're transformed. But just trying to morph inside the building. Like the dampening field is like the walls are the like.
It was mentioned that the
Okay.
device at the juice bar was on the roof of the juice bar, but we don't have a similar idea of where the device is at the school.
I don't remember if I said or not, so I will
Sure.
say that Zordon just told you it was on the roof because I don't remember if I said or not. So
In that case, that's a really good idea. That in fact, just talking to Jane, that pretty lucky that no one's around. the fire escape probably is a really good way to get to the roof, but we'd probably want to try to power up before we do that, or
Yeah, absolutely.
Where did you land? Because you teleported, but Angel Grove High is a pretty big school. So where did you have Alpha teleport you to? It can't be on top of the roof. Like, it has to be ground level. So it's not that easy.
Because we
but
didn't
where
know
did
if
you
people
land?
were going to be there, I would say we would need to teleport somewhere where we wouldn't expect to find people at this time of day.
Like
So,
a backloading dock or
so-
something.
Yeah, so Angel Grove High is 4 stories tall, but it's also wide. So you have like a lot of different places that you could. So I kind of want you to be like, this is where, we landed, sort of thing. It just has to be
we're
ground
trying to
level.
avoid, like, an immediate thought that came to my head would be like one of the like sports fields or something. But if there was any concern of people being there, that would be really silly. Oh, I know. The faculty parking lot, because none of the teachers should be there, and the kids are going to be fooling around. It's not going to be where they might think that the teachers would be.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
You are teleported to the faculty parking lot, and you are locked in because it is locked in padlock.
Okay, I have no mental picture of how this is
It's
structured,
fenced
but
in.
So it's a
fenced
20.
in. So let me just teleport it to a fenced in
It's
wall.
got 20 to 30 spaces, so it's not super big. It does have shrubbery, so you are hidden. It's one of those chain link fences where it's about 10 feet tall, but it's not like super impossible.
Yeah,
Uh,
you guys got this.
And the lock,
both so
the
athletic.
chain and lock are a very basic chain lock, so it's not like
Just don't fluster him.
Yeah. I'm just making small mistakes after small mistakes. So
no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just what's for. You have a lock and chain before you, but there's nobody around, so it's up to you.
And I may have missed this, and if I did, I'm sorry. How tall is the fence?
10 feet.
About 10 feet. It's just one of
Okay.
those. It's like there's no like barbed wire. They're not trying to keep the teachers in, but it is a 10-foot tall chain link fence. So,
Okay. So worst
Well-
case, we could climb it.
So I guess it's not an inner city school.
well, it is, but it's not that kind of inner city school.
So at that, I'm going to kind of fumble at my power coin buckle thing and be like, all right, guess now is as good as time as any. Hopefully this is not another thing I screw up today, and hold it out and hold out the medallion and say, Black Mastodon! And about as confident of a voice as I can manage at the time, hopefully without cracking.
And you don't have any trouble because you're outside, and I'm not making you do a grid lore roll because now you know you can do it. So you're not going to have any trouble with transforming, and you are in your Black Mastodon armor.
Jane is also going to hold hers out and yell out Red Ranger power and transform.
Okay. Yeah. So you are now in your ranger armor, and you are still in the faculty parking lot of the empty Angel Grove High. So you've got a lock and chain before you.
Do you want to try to pick the lock, or do you want to climb the fence? What do you think would be easier?
This whole like superpower thing is kind of like feeling ninja-esque. I'm kind of curious if I could just jump the fence, and I'm gonna get a running start and make an attempt. just
Climbing
kind of leap
is going to
over.
be that. So that's going to be athletics.
Athletics.
Jane's going to wait and see how this plays out before she decides what she's going to do.
I mean, it's
Let-
not going to be a difficult, but okay.
Yes,
you-
I rolled a 20 with the one and the addition.
Nice.
That's a total of 21.
You wanted to do this so bad, you don't even really touch the chain link. Like, you almost overshoot it, and like you do like a full, when you come down, you do that power thing where you land. But much like Moon Knight in episode 1, still trying to figure out how to land, you like tumble forward just a bit. But it still looks cool. You
Yeah,
still
but
did like
I look towards where Jane is, just to make sure she saw it, and if I get any kind of recognition, I'd be like,
She's like
Barely
jumping up
holding
and
in
down and
excitement.
cheering. She is super excited about what you just did. And she's
Aw.
going to try to do it too.
Take a story point, Jane, for supporting your friend.
That was super awesome. And she now feels like she can do that too. So this is probably going to go terribly, but Jane is going to attempt. I got a 13. So I'm not as stylish as Eddy is, but
Yeah, no. So you have the classic Red Ranger issue of when you go to kick something, you look a little blocky when you do it. So as you're getting over the fence, like when you go to kick out your leg to come down, it doesn't look as cool. Like it looks like it took a little bit of effort, but you can down, no problem. Yeah.
you looked way cooler doing that than I did.
It's still really awesome. High five.
5.
All right, and
Wholesome.
you are about 20 feet from a path that goes all the way around the different ways to get into the school that are all locked. If you want to get to the dumpster where the fire escape is, or if you want to get to one
I
of
vote
the
for fire
entrances,
escape.
Fire escape, definitely.
I want you to give me an athletics, and we'll see how long it takes you to get there.
I got a 22.
All right.
I start going the wrong direction, and then I realize she's not following me, so then I turn around and follow her.
Eddy,
Yeah.
over here, Eddy. This way.
Hello, they high five. They're super excited. They dart off in opposite directions. Then it goes like, "Oh, right, all right."
Well, good news.
I was going for the bus lot. I thought it was time to go home.
Good news, the dumpsters are empty. So there's not like a smell or flies or anything. And you can attempt climbing the fire escape if you so wish.
I wish to do so.
Same.
Give me an athletics for climbing.
I've gotten a total of a 20.
Jane got a 14.
Eddy, you're just, the running wasn't your thing, but you did climbing once really well, and you're climbing again. Jane, you get held up a little bit because the fire escape is metal, and even with power armor gloves, because it's light armor, there's still just a little bit of a heat. But Eddy doesn't seem to feel it because Eddy is high on the adrenaline of
Oh, heck yeah.
Jackie Channing it earlier. And you're really high on adrenaline. So when you get to the rooftop, you, at first, you don't see the dumpster containment unit as much as you see what is known as the Mongo Hollow Putty. And this is basically like if a putty wanted to be the Hulk and wanted to just look like a rock creature, but they're not looking at you. But there is a tall putty there.
I'm kind of picturing the rock creature from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
like
up
that.
there
Yeah.
quicker than I got up there before Jane did, right?
You got up there
And
just
the creature doesn't see me yet.
the creature has not seen anyone yet.
Okay, so my imagination is telling me I'm going to kind of do that, like momentary realization and kind of like frozen in a still moment, and then when Jane gets up, just kind of like frantically do like a shush pantomiming, and is there a AC unit or a ventilation shaft or something that's protruding above the roof area to kind of like get behind to prevent the creature from immediately seeing where we are?
There is a low AC unit, so your helmets will still be over the top of the AC unit even if you kneel, but there is one there.
Yeah, so just for the sake of my own comfort more than any really strategy at that point, try to utilize that to at least provide some line of sight coverage while we, or at least while I try to get my thoughts together as to what to do.
Is it big enough for both of us to duck behind, or is it only
Yes,
big enough for one person?
But your helmets are like half of your helmets are above it, like on
Just
those.
like
beam
comical,
thing.
like we think we're hiding, but it's just like a few little.
Yeah.
But we are going to pause at Angel Grove High School roof, and we are going to head over to Ernie's Juice Bar. Britt, you are the only one going to the Juice Bar, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, well, it's not empty. When you are teleported, you are teleported into the empty courtyard, and mostly people have curtains drawn in the individual windows, so no one actually sees you teleport in. Did you morph before you left?
Well, I was feeling like we should have all morphed when we were at the command center, but I'm going to say that yes, I did. I morphed before I got there.
You are the morph Pink Ranger in the middle of the courtyard, and it is not. Ernie's Juice Bar is in mid-swing of summer. It is not empty.
Even though we just left it and there was nobody there because the putty attended.
Yeah, no, they're all back now. Yeah, like it's very much like you know how it's like in a town where they're desensitized to the creatures, and like once they're not there anymore, it's like go back to your lives. It's that.
My perfect
All right, well,
plans have fallen
luckily,
to reality.
I know all about Ernie's juice bar, and so I know that there's a back entrance that I can get to that leads to a stairwell that will take me up to the roof.
Give me a streetwise or a survival. The survival would be cartography. Streetwise is for like locating.
I'm going with streetwise because I actually have points in that.
Yeah, someone locked that door. Like you get to the door is locked.
I am going to walk into the juice bar.
You're still a ranger walking into the juice bar?
Yes, I am. I'm a ranger walking into the juice bar, and I'm going to announce to all of the patrons that this place is not safe. They need to get out now, or else bad things are going to happen, and putties will come and hurt them. So for their safety, they should leave so that I can do my ranger duties.
I want you to give me a persuasion roll.
This is not going to go well.
You got a 19. I was going to have it be something else. But with the 19, Ernie gets over the comm system as they see. There's been a little chatter about Rangers, but no one's really seen you guys in person yet. Like there were some rumors about something in the park that was fighting the putties, and they were colored in primary like colors. So sure. So Ernie gets over the intercom and goes, "We have a further situation. Please evacuate the building again. 10 minutes?" Ernie looks over to you, Brick, and goes, 10 minutes good?
I guess.
All right, 10 minutes, everyone. 10 minutes. And you're going to get a snag because you've caused the evacuation. And so now it's just like a sea of teenagers that are begrudgingly leaving a space for a second time during their summer vacation. So you're going to get there, but it's going to take you a little longer than you want to. Where do you want to go?
I don't want to run into any more locked doors. So I'm going to ask Ernie as he's on the way out if the roof is accessible.
Ernie gives you kind of a strange look and goes, well, yeah, the planetarium club uses the roof all the time. They've got access on the third floor.
Is the door unlocked, Ernie? Can I get to the roof?
I don't know how you know my name, but those doors don't really get locked. I mean, we're inside the building. It would be
That's all I needed to know. Thanks so much, bud. See you later.
Be careful. Ernie calls after the I don't know if you modulate your voice at all as the Pink Ranger, but the masculine voice in the Pink Ranger costume. Ernie's not mad about it, but it's just like, okay, I guess that's happening.
I know your name because it's on the building, but we don't have to talk about that. All right. Okay. Be safe, citizen.
Oh my God. Give me athletics, because we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this running to see how quickly you get up to the third floor.
Acrobatics, you said?
Athletics with a snag.
4. This takes me a long time.
Yeah, you know when you tell people to leave a building, they congregate at the stairwells. So you're going to do it, but a lot of the people that you go to school with are now seeing you in your morphed pink armor. They don't know it's you, but they know there is a pink ranger. They don't know if they call it the Pink Ranger yet, but the more they see you, the more they're going to call you that. So they are in the way.
You're in my way. I got to get to the roof. Please. Ow. Watch where you're going.
Give me a persuasion or give me an intimidation, depending upon how forcefully you want these people to get out of your way.
You said persuasion, or what was the other one?
Intimidation.
Persuasion, I'm going to go with. Okay. Am I still snagged, or is this normal?
This is normal. Well, none of it's normal, but...
Oh, my God.
Okay, so it takes you like 15 more minutes. Like, Eddy and Jane have been ducked behind an AC cooling unit for about 10 minutes by the time you get to the roof. And it's not too bad on there. Like, you pop open, like, it's a really kind of cool roll top planetarium thing. Like it was made to, like, look really cool, like a science club did it. And Unfortunately for you, there are 3 putties here. There's only one of you, and there's no AC unit on this part of the roof. But you're holding on to the roll top, and you have a clear view of your dumpster dampener jewel thing that I didn't correctly name. And we're going to pause there for dramatic effects, and you can think about what you're going to do as we head over to Angel Grove Preparatory Academy for the Youth Leaders of America. Angel Grove Prep Academy is busy today because it is Future Alumni Visiting Day. Where would you like to be teleported to, Quentin and Cecily?
It's in a more built-up area, isn't it?
It is in a built-up area.
And it's busy.
I mean, it's not like super busy. It's like summer, so like essentially it looks like, even with a quick glance around it, not to make you roll, it looks like guided tours are happening.
Okay. Is there like maybe?
Yeah, there's probably an alleyway nearby. Right?
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe like the back, of like the cafeteria or something.
They don't have a cafeteria. They have an alfresco outdoor eating area.
Of course they do.
Yeah, we'll probably teleported to an alley nearby or something.
Yeah, you're gonna. So you are teleported into a nearby alley. Are you in Ranger garb, or did you not transform?
I would have pretty much tried to do the same thing.
I would transform. Yeah.
So I would have been transformed. Yeah.
Okay, so you are Rangers. And it is the Angel Grove Prep Academy visiting guided tour weekend, and you need to find this device in this building.
Have you ever been here before?
Outside, yes.
Okay. Well, that's at least something better than
the building. No.
Great. So we're both going in blind. Perfect.
I knew there was an alleyway here.
That's exciting. That's at least something. Well, I think that we'd probably want to head somewhere where, I don't know where they would keep garbage here, because it looks so not garbage.
Yeah, they would probably hide it, honestly.
We need to find
garbage area. Are there any big trucks or delivery trucks or anything around here right now?
Give me an alert.
20.
Nice.
Yeah, there is a Cisco truck, and Cisco is the American group that no matter how rich you are, they provide your cafeteria food. Except that Prep Academy, they get the fresh version of it instead of the oily version.
Yeah. They get the first delivery of it, rather.
So there is a truck rolling by slowly. It looks like it's about to make like a 3-point turn to back in somewhere.
Quick on top. That's my idea. Is just trying to get on top of the truck and like pancake down to the roof of it.
That would work, except that there's not a ladder on the side for you to grab to get on top of the truck. So I'll let you try an athletic check to. I mean,
I have a question. Is there like ivy or anything?
There's no ivy. It's not
okay.
the East Coast, it's the West Coast.
Okay. It was worth a try.
It was worth a try, though. Yeah, no ivy. They're more of like a palm tree, like a Sunnydale High School type of thing.
Okay.
There are palm trees.
But do you want to jump on top of this truck, or no?
I'll jump on the truck.
Okay.
If you're gonna jump on the truck, give me climbing with a snag.
Would that be what, athletics?
Yeah, athletics.
Okay.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
I might have just gotten hit by a truck.
I got a 16.
I got 5.
Cecily, you notice there's like a lift hitch that gives you just enough space for your legs so that you can make the rest of the 10 feet.
Okay.
Quentin, you duck and roll out of the way as it's making its 3-point turn. So the driver doesn't see you, but now you're like in the middle of this turning semi-Cisco food truck.
All right. Can I just jump on the back of it then?
Yes. Give me a brawn to get yourself onto the back of the truck.
Can I like assist by like putting my hand out?
You are too far away to assist at the moment. There's nothing you can do that would not put you in mortal danger.
Okay.
Is this also a snag?
No, it's just
Okay.
brawn. This is less dangerous, and
5.
well, you get your hand on it, and whatever you grab for does not work.
Nope, this is
Cecily is now on top of the truck, and you're not running behind it because you're not being seen, but it may be time to think of another plan. Unless
just
you
gonna-
really like this.
What?
Unless you really like doing this.
Well, I don't want to end up being inadvertently split up. Is the thing?
The truck isn't moving very quickly. In fact, you
Right.
kind of see the path that it's taking into
Okay.
the school kitchen.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try one more. Can I actually do a story point? I'm
You
gonna
can
throw a
do
story point at my last
after you have to roll it, and the story point is for a reroll.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not going to have you do a stab this time.
Could I
but
do like an acrobatics kind of thing to try to get onto it?
You know what? You're morph, so I'll give you flying. So do give me an acrobatic.
That one I think I'm gonna do a reroll on because I also got a 5 again.
Yes.
I'm really good at rolling 5s right now. Like to roll different. Well, that's different, but it's a 9.
You got a 9. I'm going to let you hang on to the back of the truck with that 9.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
Very-
not pretty,
Yeah, very not pretty.
but it's not going fast, and you're not on the ground, and that's
Yeah.
all you needed. Your ranger feet are like on the ledge of it, and like they're
Right.
curved a little bit.
I feel
Um,
like I'm partially dragging, almost like Indiana Jones at this point.
Cecily, give me an alertness.
21.
Nice.
So good news, bad news. Bad news, there is an awning where this truck is going. So being on top of this truck is going to eventually not be great. It'll be in a place where you can get up in it, but you can't tell how secure this awning is.
Okay.
The other part of that is that while you can see the dumpster containment unit, or what you think looks like it, because no air conditioning unit used to look like that, you see this creature that is wearing a work outfit and has it's like if Elf and an Aardvark were like an albino thing. You don't know what to call it exactly, but it's just like, it's an alien. You know it when you see it. It's up on the roof. It's not the roof you're at. It's a roof that's like on a ledge higher. Can't tell exactly where it is from where you are, but you know it's there. So
I'm going to go to Quentin. I'm like, looks like we have company.
Ah!
they haven't seen you yet. They're not like looking at you.
Yeah.
So that's the first part of it. But you know they're there, and but you have to make a decision quickly because you're approaching the awning.
I am going to duck out of the way to try to. Can I like safely get off and like find another way to scale up the building?
Yeah, you're gonna need to do that because there's not enough room. to
Yeah.
not be
Okay.
squished.
So would that be like an acrobatics check?
I'm just gonna give it to you because I don't want you to be squished. There's no
Okay.
pretty way. You're just basically throwing yourself off the edge of the truck.
Doing some cute Blue Ranger stuff.
Cute Blue Ranger stuff. Wearing your armor is being really helpful. But yeah, so you're closer to the school now, but there's not really like a fire escape situation. Like you could go in, but you're still morphed, and there are tour groups that are probably in the building.
Okay. I want to avoid the people, obviously, but I also want to avoid. Can I?
And you're in this together. You're very close to each other now.
Okay,
you can
I'm gonna be
actually
like-
talk this through.
I was gonna be like, what do you think we should do? I don't want to like make people notice that there's two costumed people just running around here. It might cause like a panic.
I mean, really, mainly we just need to get onto this roof and destroy this thing, right?
Yeah.
So this guy doesn't necessarily matter too much other than just being an obstacle in our way. It's not like
It's
we need
true.
to take him out.
Cecily,
but-
did you describe the creature to Quentin? Because Quentin didn't see it, only you
Oh.
saw it.
I'm gonna say like we had company, and I'm gonna be like, it's obviously somebody not from around here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is it the hyena guy again?
No, this guy's weird. He looks like that 70s cartoon guy, not Muppet guy, not a Muppet. She's like, never mind. It doesn't matter. he doesn't look good. We don't want him around. So I think that he could be a danger to these people. And there's a lot of people walking around, and we also have that task to get done. So we got to get up there. So
we got to get up there. We're going to have to deal with him. If if he knows we're there to destroy that, like, he's going to try to stop our attempt to destroy it. So he's going to be focused on us rather than the other people, hopefully. So and with them being one of him, two of us, hopefully if we can somehow flank where he is, he'll have to deal with us separately. So whichever one he goes to, the other one deals with the crystal.
I don't think he looks as strong as Hyena Guy. So,
but yeah, either way, we got to get up there on this thing and try to deal with it. You got your blaster ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I don't really have any other better ideas.
I mean, that's the only way I can really think about getting up there, because it's not like there's any fire escapes.
Right.
So what do you want to do? Now, historically, Rangers have done this where one has been kind of the cheerleader thing.
Where I could, like, jump?
Yeah. So you do have that option, but then you're just on top of the awning. But at that point, the other Ranger can jump up behind you, and you can grab onto their hand and help them up if you want to try that.
Okay.
I'd like to do the brute force.
Let's do that. I am down to, should I jump first and then I'll pick you up?
You might be stronger than me.
I am pretty strong. Just saying.
I am not. I am built for agility, not anything else.
Well, it's a good thing you're with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get whoever's going to be the base ranger helping the other ranger up. Let's get them to do a brawn roll.
So that's going to be you. I got a 17.
17, great. So you're pushing Quentin up, basically, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Quentin, you elegantly get onto the awning.
All right.
We're on the awning. You can now see the the albino aardvark creature in the overalls and one putty.
Okay, so there's a
putty. They're not right in front of you. They're a little farther afield.
Right, okay.
Like, you know that they're there.
I'm going to turn back around and kind of like crouch down, reach a hand down, and pretty much trying to position myself so I'll have both my legs and my arms to help lift Cecily up here as well.
Give me a brawn for that, actually. Now, let's do a brawn with edge. Because
awesome.
You're...
I rolled a 3.
Yep, you rolled a 3. Cecily, do you want to try rolling brawn? Maybe you can jump up in.
Little squinty Quentin is sitting there trying to lift just one person. He's like, ugh.
He's like, jeez. I am. Let me pull up my thing because I just had to refresh.
Could I actually do a story point with that brawn roll?
You already used one in this scene, right?
It would still be the same scene as the truck, so yeah.
Still the same scene. Actually, so Cecily, you notice that the bricks in the wall are not quite like they're not so tight. Like, you could, it's not quite a ladder, but like it's enough that
I can get a grip.
Yeah, it's like a tricky climbing wall.
And so if you do an athletics for climbing, you can get up to a place where you can get Quentin's hand pretty easily. Probably get up on the
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Right,
17.
17.
Yay!
Unfortunately, as you're being pulled up, you pop up just enough that you garner the attention of the albino aardvark, and you hear pealing from the sky, "Finster!" And the guy looks up, and you're pretty sure that the name of the albino aardvark is Finster. And the albino aardvark laughs at you both from their place across the roof and transforms into a putty, because that wasn't the real Finster. Or they left something behind. But so now there are 2 putties on that roof, that are the changeling putties. And
right. Scratch our numbers advantage.
Everyone is up on a roof now, and we're going to go back to Angel Grove High School on the roof, where Eddy and Jane are currently behind an HVAC unit facing a gray version of Marshmallow from Frozen.
Yeah, that dude's a lot bigger than the other ones, right? And I'm not just seeing things. I mean, huge.
Yeah, it's huge. How are we gonna
How are we going to do this?
Successfully, yes.
Okay.
Whatever we do, that's how we do it.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah,
Makes sense to
absolutely.
me. But how do we do that?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Where is it, like in the middle, or is it like closer to the edge?
It is. It's so big that it's kind of just in the middle by virtue of being a giant Mongo hollow putty, giant marshmallow creature. But the joy of being that big is that you can see like when it even shifts its weight a little bit on its leg, you see the dumpster dampener behind it. You can't quite see the jewel, but the big is kind of a curse more than a gift in this kind of scenario.
My first thought was maybe we could try to like catch it by surprise and push it off, but I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, I don't. It seems like it probably need quite a bit of a shove unless it's like top heavy, or it depends if it's like sumo mode or if it's like American wrestler mode. Or I'm sorry, yeah. Either way though, like you have to deal with that thing to be able to get to the dumpster power debuff source machine thing. Yeah,
We're going to have to fight this thing.
yeah, you're right. And with that, I'm just gonna immediately like get out and kind of charge at it.
Okay, do you want to use? Are you using your fist? Or are you using your?
I'm gonna pull out the blaster thing and go into like knife mode.
Okay, you're going to use your blade blaster. Give me finesse. Give me a finesse roll for this. With an edge.
I got
Nice.
a total of a 19.
It can't it is not moving quickly. Like it only reacts to the fact that you essentially sliced off 2 of its fingers, and it is going to take a swipe at you in retaliation. This is going to be a might, and this is going to be versus your tough.
With the Mighty Morphin armor, I believe that puts me at an 18.
It got an 11, so it doesn't get you. You're faster than this creature, even though, you're not Brit or Quentin, but you're faster than this creature. You're not quite on the other side of it, but like you're definitely like at the hip and moving past the knee almost.
If I'm able to keep my wits about me facing such a big thing, my intention will be to try to draw its attention away from the dumpster device, if at all possible with the geography of the rooftop.
It is not possible with the geography of
Okay.
the rooftop by virtue of size. But it definitely knows that you're there because you definitely just blade blasted a couple of fingers off of it.
Then, just as a statement of intention, I think Eddy from there, with the immediate apparent reality of distraction not working, and with the momentary success after the adrenaline high of morphine, jumping the fence, and all this type of stuff, mind shift is going to shift to I think I could take it, and I'm just going to go for destroying it at this point.
Jane, is there anything you'd like to do? You've just saw Eddy slice off a couple of this thing's fingers and seen its reaction time.
As soon as I see Eddy jump and start to run over there, I'm gonna use my communicator and I'm gonna call Alpha. We have a big enemy up here. So far we're fine. I'll keep you updated. And I'm gonna pull out my blaster and go around the other side of the AC unit that we were hiding behind, and I am going to try to shoot it.
Okay, shooting is targeting, so give me a targeting for using your blade blaster in its energy mode.
An 18.
What were you aiming for? You hit it, whatever you're aiming for. What were you aiming for on the Mongo Hollow Putty Marshmallow creature thing?
His face.
You hit his face, and Mongo Hollow Putty daggers backwards. Not enough to like fall on top of the dumpster dampener. Yeah, the reaction time is just not great on this creature.
And if I can do anything else, I want to, after I shoot, I want to walk forward probably. I want to at least cover about half the distance
Okay.
to where it is, if I can. If not, I'll just stay there.
The giant marshmallow putty is going to try to frighten you. So this is
Okay.
going to be against both of your willpowers. Whatever your willpower is, they're going to try to frighten you. They got a 19.
I'm
So,
frightened.
yeah.
Yeah, my willpower is only at 12. That's
Yeah, so-
definitely got my number.
This thing lets out like a shrieking roar where if there was anyone at school right now, that would have stopped them dead in their tracks. And you are surprised and frightened, and you're not going to be like, it's going to take you a second. And we don't have an attack of opportunity in this, but we are going to pause at this moment, and we're going to go back to Brick. And Brick, you are at the top of Ernie's juice bar, and you are facing, what did I
It's
say?
nice. A couple putties. You said there's 3 putties, but I have a clear sort
Yeah.
of shot at the.
You have 3 putties. They are normal putties. They are not the gigantic marshmallow putties. So they have a higher agility. And there are 3 of them. But you've got the roll top. You're not quite on the roof yet. You were technically still in the planetarium room. And you can decide what you want to do.
I'm still in the room, so I have to exit the room to.
I mean, you
Get
have
out
a
on the
clear shot. So you could open the roll top, shoot, and then roll it back down. Or you could completely like bolt out.
Okay, I'm going to bolt out. Can I? Okay, so I have one of my powers is hard target. When
That's what
moving
I-
during combat, you can roll acrobatics to raise your evasion score. If your score rolled is higher than your current, it will last the next round.
So give me an acrobatics and see if hard target makes you easier or makes you harder to, because it can't go lower than what your current evasion is, but it could go higher. So give me acrobatics and we'll see.
It's a 5. Okay.
So the planetarium people left some wires and things on top of the roof. And so while you're bolting forward, you trip on top of these very thin, like, wire pieces. And you kind of just fall forward, but it kind of looks like a flip. Like, that could have been the intention. Unfortunately, now 3 putties know that you're there on the roof with them.
All right. I mean, I can't waste time. I'm going to try and shoot them.
Targeting is your blade blaster, and taking the weapon out of the holster is a free action. So yeah, just do targeting, and we'll see if you hit.
19.
Well, you hit one, and it slams into the other, and they go down. And the one that you hit disappears, but one of them is going to get an attack on you because one of the 3 was just coming over, and this is going to be. It's a might martial art. They're going to martial art you in so much as they can. Going to try to stomp down on your chest.
What stat of mine is
This is going to be tough.
My
Yeah, they got a
toughness is
17.
yeah.
So they're going to have you pinned down. They're going to have you pinned down. One of their clay brethren, sisterin has fallen, and we are going to pause and go over to Angel Grove Prep, where Cecily and Quentin have seen. I'm going to call it Finster because I don't know how else to keep this going extended. But have seen it's Finster has been transformed into a changeling. There are 2 putties on the roof, not quite where the dampener is, but you could get there shortly with a athletics for running to see if you can get up the ledge. And
I'm going to give that a shot. I'm going to go for it because I am ready to take this down. And I got a 20.
you got a 20. It's a really kind of curved ledge. Like, it's not like. And Quentin, you're not far behind. You stumble a little bit getting up, but you recover. And we're gonna pretend that Cecily didn't see that. And so you look like you just followed, and it was effortless. But now the putties know you're here, so now you've got to deal with that.
Well, I'm not afraid of no putty, especially when I'm in ranger gear.
What would you like to attempt with this putty?
I could try to blast it.
You could try to blast it. Most definitely. I want you to give me a targeting.
11.
You kind of get it on the shoulder. It ricochets off. But in the ricochet, it gets the blue laser bolt gets really close to the dumpster dampener. Like at the angle you did it from, and it crackles a little bit, almost like it's trying to catch the energy bolt from the air.
She's going to turn to Quentin and go, I'm distracting them for you. Like this was her plan all along. That's not it. That wasn't the plan, but she's going to act like it was.
My plan is to be like, yep, got it, and I'll just keep running up and try to do a melee attack with the first one I can get to.
Give me athletics. We'll just do that all in one. Just give me the athletics for the moving toward.
All right. 7.
Well, now
Because
that
somebody
they have
tied my shoes together, apparently.
now that they have a target, they're like trying to gang up on you, and they kind of clothesline you. They are trying to keep you from. They don't try to punch you. They're trying to like Craig.
Yeah, they're just
to
playing
keep you away from
defense.
the dumpster damper. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we're gonna stay here. I'm gonna give you another turn, and then we're gonna go back to the
Okay.
high school.
All right.
The putties are gonna try to grapple. You, Quentin.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to try to get them away from him. So I think I'm going to try to like at least grab one of them and like pull him away, kind of fling him.
All right. That's not going to work because I got a 20.
Yeah, you did.
So you're not going to be grappled because they're both concentrating on Quentin, but they are concentrated on Quentin completely.
Yeah, I'll distract him. You.
I'll do the thing
got
this
it.
time.
All right.
What was their might roll again?
So their might roll just for grappling would be tough, really.
Yeah. No, that definitely happened.
Yeah. So Cecily, the putties are distracted. The dampener is not wide open, but like, what would you like to do?
I'm going to try to take the dampener down.
How would you like to do that?
Can I do it with my blaster?
You can do it with your blaster, but how would you like to do it? Because your blaster has 2 settings. It has the energy targeting, and it has the blade, which is blunt.
I think I'm going to want to do energy.
All right. So give me a targeting roll.
All right. I got a 19.
Well, so you got 19, so you fired, and you're pretty sure it hit. And the next thing you remember is looking up at the sky because the kind of explosive energy tumbled you and Quentin both over. It didn't hurt you. You're still morphed. If you didn't have power armor on, that would have been bad. And both putties just like dissolved. But Quentin, you're like looking at the ceiling. You're looking at the top of the roof.
Yeah, I'm being held up.
Yeah, you are down face first, and Cecily, you're on your back looking up the sky. But you managed to do it. And you did
Success!
fly. So would you like to relay that information to Alpha of how you did it so it can be relayed to the other Rangers?
She's going to tap on. She's going to go, we did it.
Yeah.
Like,
Alpha's going to be like, congratulations, Rangers. What was it difficult to do? Is there anything I should tell the other Rangers?
One good shot and it'll explode.
Explode?
We're okay.
That's
Just
good,
it's like a little boom.
it's a fun little boom and you should brace yourself.
It's
Yeah.
a fun little. Okay. So everyone hears Alpha 5 through their communicator, no matter where you are, go, aye, Rangers. It is a fun little boom when you destroy the dumpster dampener. And with that, we're going to go all the way back to the very beginning at Angel Grove High School, where the giant marshmallow Mongo putty is slowly, step by step, about to take a swipe. Eddy.
Yes.
The Mongo bunny is taking a swipe at Eddy.
So
That's an 8.
at this point, I feel like after that intimidation check, that exceeded my willpower quite excessively.
Yeah.
A little bit of reality might be setting in just how big this dude is, right?
It's so big that it misses you, but like its fingertips on the hand you didn't attack, like rush your helmet and pushes you a little bit. So like if it did get hidden, it would clock you hard. You're just glad that it's slow.
Yeah. So with that, it's my turn to do a thing, I assume. Yeah. Given the situation, Eddie's very much going to feel like he really just can't back down regardless of how he might be feeling in the moment. So I am going to continue to attack the big putty. Now, is there a way to be able to utilize the smaller weapon in a more brute fashion as opposed to finesse style, or does it not really operate that way?
No, it has to be finesse.
Okay, then that's what I will continue to do. Hey, high number. I rolled a 19.
Nice.
That is above its toughness. So what were you aiming for?
Center mass. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to default to essentially kind of like trying to go for the largest, broadest bit of it in hopes that I'll be less likely to miss.
Yeah. The only problem is that it's made of clay. So now your blade blaster and your hand are essentially stuck in the middle of this giant thing's nest.
Perfect. Everything's running just fine.
That's an interesting way to say perfect. Jane, Eddy is attached to this giant putty creature.
So, do I have a clear shot of the machine?
You do have a clear shot.
It's perfectly fine. He said a fun boom.
Yeah, he said fun little boom. You are slightly closer, so this fun boom may turn fifth element real quick. But you've got enough cover with the manga hololoid, so you're probably okay. But if you want to use an energy beam blaster, that's going to be targeting for you.
All right, let's fingers crossed here. I got an 11, and I'm willing to use a story point if that's not enough to blow it up.
Not enough to blow it up, but you did get it by half, and you watched the thing crackle in half, and like just energy starts like shooting out of it like electricity, and it suddenly becomes very dangerous. And you need to make a decision if you're going to aim again or if you're going to like try to slice at it.
I want to aim again.
I believe in you.
I want to aim again.
All right, give me that targeting now with the urgency and your courage. Give me that with an
14.
14. You Eddy ends up in a pile of damp clay, essentially. Like you end up underneath the earth, and Jane, you almost fly off of the roof because there are no hand railings because it's not OSHA compliant. You don't, but there's a half second where it's a little scary. But good news, you've done the thing that you came to do. You've just got to dig Eddy out from beneath the now clay goo pile.
Okay.
The clay goo monster does not have a clay heart, so sadly you don't get a
Sad
clay
face.
heart moment.
As I go to dig him out, I'm gonna use the communicator and say, "Fun little boom. Next one's down."
I just imagine that as Jane finishes this off, it looks like just a pile of poo with my hand sticking out or something.
It's very much like Jurassic Park, except you're inside the poo pile. Brick, you're not having as happy a time as everyone else is having. You've got 3 putties going on. It's a good time to call for assistance, or
one of them is standing on my chest, and
one is dead though. You did get one.
I got one. Okay, I mean, I would like to call for assistance, but I can't communicate with them through my morpher or my communicator, right?
You can do it because the communicator is linked to your helmet. So if you're like, "Hey, Alpha," Alpha will be able to hear. You can do it that way.
Okay. Also, this other putty is like right on top of me, right? I could
They're menacingly close by. You could kick them if you so wish.
Well, you said they had a foot on my chest. Am I pinned down by their
You're pinned down by one, and then there's another one not far away because you killed their friend, you knocked them over. So they're in like Snidely Whiplash territory where they're like inching closer to you.
I am gonna ask. Okay. I do want to call for reinforcements for sure. So I do want to call Alpha and say, Alpha, I'm a little bit of a pickle here. I need a little bit of help, but I also want to blast the putty that's on top of me and see if I can get him off.
It will take some time to get the help. So let's do the blasting putty, and then everyone else will hear the message for help. So let's use. How do you want to do blade blaster?
I just want. I want to. He's on top of me. I just want to like spray him. So
that's always going to be targeting for air energy blaster that way.
Is this a specialization? I should have asked that before.
I mean, not really, because the
Okay.
powered weapons are just it's either finesse or it's going to be targeting. Like those are the two options.
Oh my god. It's a 3.
Bad angle, bad aim.
He's right in
everyone-
front of me.
Yeah, but it's like a weird angle.
point?
It's like
Rick, would you like to use a story point?
Yes, I would. Can I use the story? I would
If
like
you
to use a
haven't
story
used,
point.
if you haven't used a story point in this scene, then you may use.
I don't think I have, because
Yeah, I
I
was the only one that fell
tried
off
to
the
use
truck,
one to get up the stairs faster, but you told me I couldn't do it. So
Okay. Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna use a story point to re-roll that because that was ridiculous.
Just for the sake of the audience, the gentleman got a 3 with a possible success of as high as 28 on that roll.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try that one more time. Okay,
All right.
that's what I'm talking about. That's a 20.
You shoot the putty into oblivion.
Yes.
They go from being atop you to exploding in the sky like a firework. And you can either go for the other putty or you, where you are on the ground, can attempt to target the dumpster dam.
I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna get up off the ground, and I don't know if I should target the other putty or if I should. I don't think from the angle I'm gonna have a good job with that. With the can I do I have a clear shot at the thing?
You have a clear shot. There is nothing in your way from either
Hit it,
hitting
hit
the
it.
putty or the dampener. It's really up to you.
Take the shot!
Take your shot.
Take the shot. Take the shot. Take
It's
the
gonna
shot.
it's gonna be targeting. Just tell me what you're targeting.
I'm targeting the dumpster.
Yes.
All right, give me a targeting.
I miss.
You hit the dumpster itself, not the jewel on top. Maybe that wasn't clear from the thing, but it just kind of ricochets. But it ricochets and hilariously hits the putty in the butt, and the putty does that little weird hopping motion because it just got shot in the butt a bit. It's not dead, but it's very annoyed, and it's going to attempt to attack you. Also, every other ranger is getting the help message about now, as this putty is going to hit you with their might.
I'm gonna try to tell Alpha to teleport me right where Brick is, if possible.
Well, it's not gonna. It got hit in the butt, so it's not gonna be able to get to Brick. It's just kind of hopping around still. But requesting that transfer, Alpha transfers you, Quentin, right over to where Brick is. Do you tell your partner that you're leaving to help Brick, or do you just like?
I figured
get
she
out
heard
of
the
there?
same call for
Yeah,
help that I.
Let's
that I heard.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to be
Yeah.
clear. You just like, and I'm gone, and scene for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're-
I guess I just.
I was
assumed
hoping
we were
that
all
everyone
jumping
was
on
gonna-
this call for help.
Yeah, that everyone was going to show up and we were going to take this
Have a
one
little-
final shot all together at the thing.
Right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
bearing in mind that you know how big the boom is, and it's not necessarily as fun a little boom as others had made it seem. But there's only one putty, thankfully, and a clear shot for whoever wants.
Better way to do the final hit than just complete friggin' overkill.
all together.
There's no
Right.
kill like
Cross the
overkill.
streams.
If you're doing it, give me a targeting. If you're doing it all together,
I'm gonna
give-
do
Is
it.
everybody here? Are we all here?
I don't know. Did red and black decide to join? The,
I
I'm
would
all for
say-
joining if Jane gets me
Yeah,
out of the
as
poop
soon
pile.
as soon as I get him out, we'll
You could just be
teleport him.
teleported out of the pile.
So we
you are a
arrived
little
there.
covered in like the clay, by the way, because
Right,
it's not
yeah.
all off of you. Like the teleportation didn't get rid of the poo clay completely, so
Right.
like one of your
It's like a
arms-
Ghostbuster after the marshmallow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Except
That's
it's
like
not
a-
delicious marshmallow.
No,
Not
not
just
at all.
marshmallow. But
Gross.
if you are targeting, please target.
All right, guys,
All
all
Can we
together.
provide like a support to his role? How does
Ooh,
There's not
I can
possible
I can actually apply support, I think, right? I have a thing called Heart of the Team.
Oh,
oh snap?
During
we go.
combat, if you are within 60 feet of a morphed ally, you can shout something encouraging to them and give them a shift of +1 to their next action. This is a free action you can do twice per session that will increase by 1 at level 5. So I want to do Heart of the Team. I'm going to say something like, all right, guys, all together, let's blow this last dumpster out of the water.
And on that note, would caretaker influence possibly be able to be used in this context as well? It says lend assistance or medicine or group check.
That's more of like a health thing.
Okay, fair.
So, and everyone's doing, this isn't a group target. You're just all targeting individually. So anyone that's going to target, please roll that target roll now. I think, Cecily, is that your roll already?
Yeah, I rolled a 17. So it'd be a 19.
Yeah.
Wow!
Jane rolled a 19.
Yeah.
Finn rolled a 20. Bliss rolled a
Eddie.
20. Eddie,
I got some gunk on the thing.
Yeah, no, that's
using
totally
your
what
clay
it
arm,
is.
Eddie.
Literally got clay in
Eddie
the gun.
rolled a 9.
Jane, are you doing a hero pose, or are you targeting with everybody else?
Oh no, I rolled. I'm targeting.
Yeah.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, so
And I got a 20. So
I would like to end this episode because it's going a little bit long. But I would like to end this episode with the traditional Power Ranger.
Yeah, walk away
classic,
from the explosion.
Walk away from the explosion because it is an explosion. It's not like burning down anything or anything like that, but it is like an explosion of the final dumpster. You hear Rita cursing in the sky because for some reason you can hear Rita, and it's a great day. Zordon congratulates you as he teleports you back to the command center on a good job and for being able to uncover the truth. And that's going to do it for this episode. I hope everyone hung in there and had a good time. And I hope that the power will protect you. And we'll see you again for the next episode of Becoming Mighty and Morphin, a Power Rangers roleplay game. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah.
See you next time.
Have a good night.
Right.